Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah. Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
And here we
go. Welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
What is going on, Hive? I hope everybody had a fantastic Monday. I want to sincerely apologize about the delay, as Devil's Advocate, being a boomer, kind of rubbed off on me there. He was like, bro, I can't find the link from last week. And I said, well, just go to your most recently read emails from me. And he goes, well, I know this is stupid. Just resend me it. Well, I sent him the wrong link. We are then both backstage in a link for a meeting or a studio that has no scheduled go live time. So we're sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't even the right link. So apologies that it took a little bit to recognize that. As you all know, I look forward to Monday nights a ton. I love having Devil's Advocates as a guest on Mondays. We're going to be going over the unexpected picture of the sheath. Personally, it was unexpected for me to see the fact that they actually have a sheath. In that same breath, I will say it is exactly what I expected to see from it. You read these autopsy reports, there's a hell of a fight, there's a lot of carnage, it's brutal, yet you just got a couple specks. It looks brand new, fresh out of the packaging. Is anybody surprised? I'm not. I'm not surprised at all. And DA actually just recently put out a video. If you've tuned in, I was talking about his video in regards to some documents that he had found surrounding the sheath and how, Hive, this shit was either planted or it was so planned out far in advance, it's not even funny. It's almost a little bit confusing as these documents drop. It's too easy to poke holes in this stuff. Okay. To anybody that's ever played football, and by the way, I know there was some person in my comments that are like, stop saying what's up to everybody. Stop talking about football. Well, no, I'm not going to, because right now it's relevant. if you've ever played football, there's a play that the offense can run. It's called a screen pass, where the offensive line that try to block you make it very easy for you to get past them. You think you're going to sack the quarterback, and then they just gently toss it to the running back while all of the defenders are right, like they've gotten too far past them, and then the running back has a ton of open room to run. That's what this feels like. They're letting us in way too easily when they've said they're going to continue to block us. Right? It's like we are hauling ass down the path of this is clear corruption. This is way too easy. Why is it this easy to poke holes in it immediately the first time that we see it? My guards are going up. Okay. Every single document batch has been way too easy to poke holes in. I also reserve the right to say that maybe they are that dumb. Maybe they are. I would like to think not. If they were able to redact it and coordinate the media as much as they did, I would like to think that now that we're seeing it, it wouldn't be this easy. There's also a chance that it is. Nonetheless, I want to go ahead. I want to say what's up to everybody. What's up, Spacey and Nurtured, Misinformation, Bad Boy, Lita B, LA Mike Light, Robin, good to see you. Far Right Red, Lisa White. That cat came back. Elizabeth Berezin, Judy, Brandon, good to see you. Samisher Sleuth, Critic Rick Gamble, the girl from Texas, April, Gabby Girl. John's mom does. Woke up, 1984, good to see you. Melissa, Moonflower. Big Amish Media, you have become a favorite username that I've seen in the Hive rather quickly. Great comments, great input. Thank you for being a part of the Hive. Daily Twin Flame, good to see you. Batshit Crazy, Carrie, Lisa White, Kim, Being Skeptical, Cat's Mojo, Amanda B from West Virginia, Chickadee, Kathy, Tracy. Spacey says, I love guessing things. Me too. It is fun to just guess, isn't it? I think it is. Where's everybody tuning in from? I haven't asked that in a long time. 1111, a.k.a. Mitty Witty, has started a digital map, from what I've been told, where they are marking off countries and states that are here in the Hive. I'd be curious how many we have blocked off. We got AZ, West Virginia. There she is, Mitty Witty 1111. Texas, Maine, Albuquerque, Canada, Texas, New Orleans, Minnesota, Texas. Berdino's basement needs to get added to that map, Mitty Witty, along with the air conditioner. Texas, Pennsylvania, Evansville, Indiana, Alabama, OKC. Moon Goddess is buzzing in from South Louisiana. Sleuth Kitty's in Vegas, Texas. Dina's in the RV in Kansas. Another Texas, Michigan, Mississippi, Oregon, Missouri, Ohio, Scotland, Dallas, Texas, London, Oklahoma, Australia, Rado, New York, Minnesota, Michigan, England, Virginia, Ohio, Boise, Australia, Cleveland, New Jersey, Scotland, North Carolina, Texas, Albuquerque, Tennessee, Florida, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. Wait. Robin's in Pennsylvania? I never knew that. Wow. DA is shaking his head like, yes, bro. Yes. Jenny's in the land of confusion. Shout out to my fellow cheesehead, Taylor. Samature Sleuth is tuning in from the UK. Love the UK Hive. Kim B's in Canada. Love the Canadian Hive. Big Amish Media's in DC. See, now Big Amish Media, now I have to ask, are you a Fed? You can't just come in here with Big Amish Media and be dropping straight facts for the last 2 weeks and then say you're from DC. See, now I'm worried. You know, if I ask you if you're a cop, you can't lie. Heather, thank you so much for the super chat. Heather says, do we get to see another crash out tonight? Come on, Birdie, don't be a quitter. Well, I blame devil's advocates for this. You see, we've had conversations off stream. He goes, I've corrupted you, bro. I've made you feel like you could just snap. And I don't know if that's your style. When I met you, you didn't say murder. You used to say unalived. And so, yes, I will blame all of my problems on my long lost uncle, devil's advocates, which, speaking of that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring him on up here. What's up, man?
What's going? Yeah, I did. You know, by the way, in the last live that I had, and you came on and you dropped that video, and then we started saying a bunch of swear words. Like there was 4 of us dropping the F-bomb every 5 seconds, and I said we got to be careful. And someone says, "Oh, you guys got demonetized a long time ago." Yes, I got 2 demonetization notices, one for the video and one for some other reason because it wasn't suitable for all audiences, which I think was all the F-bombs. So yeah, that ship sailed early in that show, and we never recovered. Yeah,
this last one.
Yeah, the last one when I was doing the live and you came on and showed that video. Oh yeah, I got hammered on that one. I got like, yeah, this is not monetizable. There's all kinds of problems. By the way, there was nudity in that clip. I went back and watched it again. I was like, oh really? Shit, there was. Yeah, there was. It's all good. It's all good. I'm okay with it. But I went back and watched it again, and you know. Anyways.
To anybody that doesn't know, I was scrolling X a couple mornings ago and I saw a Halloween film about the titty killer. And I showed DA it and I said, you know what? I could have texted you this. I'm 99.9% sure this is fine to show. Well, the 0.01 happened and I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. It was very quick. It was very quick. Out of the total time, it was probably less than a second, but it was there.
In my defense, I did stop it, and then you came back on and you said, no, play it. I'm a fan.
However, in my defense, it had already gone by. The nudity part had already gone by the time I said play the rest of it. So it was pretty early on. It's all good. It's all good. No. It was funny. I laughed my ass off on that. I was a little bit afraid that we lost like my major demographic, but it turned out okay. I think most people took it for what it was because people who watch us know there's running jokes about tiggle bitties, and I think everybody understood it for what it was.
My wife goes, Andy's watched it 50 times. But look, jokes aside, no matter how many times we've watched it, I really do want to dive into the weeds tonight, DA. I think you and I were kind of talking about that before this. You had a great video that you put out about the knife sheath and some documents that you had found. We're going to be getting into that. Just to get this out of the way, let me go ahead, plug the channel. I'm going to pause right now for 30 seconds. This seemed to have worked the last 2 nights that I've done this. So we have 30% likes right now. I'm not going to do anything for the next 30 seconds other than simply ask. Everybody just goes and touches the thumbs up. Okay. If this is your first time tuning into the Hive, I'm your host, Birdie. I go live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Central. This is a contrarian thinking live stream. So if you hate to critically think, you're going to hate both of the 2 guys you see on the screen right now. If you like to think past the headlines, I think you're going to really like us. So it's pretty cut and dry. We like to critically think in here. We like to question the narrative. We like to say, what if? Some more than others, right? Being me, I like to go way out there. DA will wrangle me in, but that's good. It's a good balance. Devil's Advocates has a channel right here. He comes on my show every Monday night. And so, DA, if you want to tell people where to find you.
Yeah, I'm Devil's Advocates 2024 on YouTube, and I've got I got Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Most of them are also Devil's Advocates 2024. Substack, I've got Devil's Docket .substack.com. Although I haven't done a lot with that, I need to get going on that. So yeah, I've got lots of my hands are dirty in a lot of areas, but the main channel is Devil's Advocates 2024, and you can see it on screen there. So thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Love that. Far Right Red gave us a super chat. DA says Long Island in the house. Love DA and Birdie. The bike ride with a laughing face. Mondays are the best. I agree. I look forward to Mondays because the last couple of weeks, you and I have tried to really get back to like having a theme. Don't get me wrong. DA and I are long lost, uncle, nephew, father, son, whatever the hell. And Detective Mowry, if you're in here, you keep your mouth shut.
He's going to talk about your mom.
Detective Mowry, you keep your mouth shut. You keep my mother's name out of your mouth. But nonetheless, DA and I have really tried to pick a topic and continue to dive into it. So we're going to be going over these knife sheath photos tonight. In the intro, DA, I think you heard me. I said, well, yes, I questioned if this shit even existed. At the same time, now that they showed us it, it's almost like, well, this is what I would expect them to show us if they had it.
Yeah. Yes.
What were your thoughts when you saw it?
My first question when I saw it, because of how pristine it was, is I said, do we 100% know? Did they actually say in the documents that this is the actual knife sheath, or is this the knife sheath they bought off of Amazon? Because law enforcement bought a knife and knife sheath off of Amazon to basically recreate, and they were going to bring in a replica to the courtroom. And so my first question when I saw how pristine it was, is this the actual knife sheath or a replica that they're showing this is what it would have looked like? I guess it's supposed to be the actual knife sheath, which again, as everything in this case, leads to more questions than answers. But anyways, yeah.
Well, so when you saw it though, like, give me I guess like an unfiltered, just a guy who's hearing about this quadruple homicide. You've heard enough about these autopsy reports or the generalization of them, right? If you haven't even gone into the weeds, if you're somebody that's just heard how brutal this is, right? And then this is found right next to the victim, and it's got specs.
Right. There was a lot of, so I do play devil's advocates even with myself. So when I saw how pristine it was, I thought to myself, is there any part of the story that it could explain the utter lack of blood on that knife sheath? Because it was supposed to be found under the body, right? It was found under Maddie. And so I thought, but then I was thinking, okay, well, let's play devil's advocates with it. If under Maddie meant under the bed, kicked under the bed because Maddie was on the bed and it was under the bed, then maybe you can explain why it's not swimming in blood kind of thing. Because I was trying to figure out how could you possibly say it was found under a body that had been stabbed multiple times and not be covered in blood. So I was trying to figure out how both stories can be true. Best I could come up with is under the body meant she was on the mattress and it was under the mattress and it was under the bed and therefore blood wasn't dripping on it. That's the best I could come up with.
Well, and then you start to think about Olivia's interviews where she starts to say experimental wounds, right? And overall, there's like a quote lack of blood. I do wonder if it's time to start asking, and this is why I give my disclaimer. This is the way my brain works. If you're dead and you get stabbed and your heart's not beating, is blood spatter way less?
Sure. Yeah. Because blood's not flowing if your heart stopped beating kind of thing, and it tends to just pool. And what you see on the knife sheath is spatter flecks. You don't see, and here's what bothered me the most. I don't know if people realize this, but when Ann Taylor presented the 4 alternative suspects, they said that they tested those 4 suspects against the blood on the back of the knife sheath, which led me to believe there must be a substantial mixed blood sample on the back of the knife sheath, to which they said the 4 alternative suspects can be excluded as possible contributors to the blood on the knife sheath. All of that led me to think we're going to see a knife sheath covered in blood. And then I saw it, they're like little tiny flecks that you can't even see that they've circled and said, here's where a fleck was. And I'm like, so how did you sample that for 4 different people and exclude them off of what's on that knife sheath? Like, I have more questions than answers on that shit.
I agree. And Drew Bledsoe, aka David Loach, the fake David Loach, just like Detective Mowry, but says free BK, let me speak. Was it a quadruple killing? Who knows? The knife sheath is a distraction. The sheath was bought by Moscow PD. Tip your hosts, you peasants. Thank you, Drew Bledsoe. I always appreciate the super chats, man. You stay coming with those. And honestly, that's a great point and a great question that kind of dials right into what DA said is, was this sheath bought by Moscow PD for some reason or another? Right.
Yeah,
Because,
we know they bought a knife and a knife sheath. The question is, when did they buy it, and and is that the knife sheath that they bought off of Amazon, or is that the actual knife sheath from the crime scene? So that's the $1 million question. And I don't know that I got the answer to it yet on whether or not that's, I mean, they're presenting it as if it's the actual knife sheath and those were the actual locations, but they could be like, this is where the sample was taken on the knife sheath that we haven't shown you, but this is where it would have come from, so I don't know.
So can you, because I did plug your video a couple of streams ago, right when you put it out, right? Can you kind of go over like what made you say, oh my God, I have to make a video about this shit? It could have been planted.
Yeah, it's kind of convoluted, and I try to explain it. It was on that 2,356 page document from Idaho State Police Forensic Services that came out, which had the pictures of the knife sheath and whatever. And when I was going through it, because I was like, I'm going to read all 2,000 pages and see what I can find. And I got like 20 pages in, and I was like, OMFG. Now, what I'm about to say, if I could try to do this quickly, isn't going to make everybody happy. I'll tell you that. Because so here's what I think. I know this is not going to make people happy. I think that the feds believed that Kohberger, and probably, and I hate to say this, but I got another video coming out tomorrow that I'm going to lay all of this out. I think the feds thought that Kohberger and Brent Kopaka did the murders, and they think they knew about that early on. If you remember, Brett Payne said under testimony that the first time they heard about Bryan Kohberger's name was on the 19th of December. And under oath, Ann Taylor grilled him and said, so when was the first time you heard Bryan Kohberger? The 19th. So it wasn't until the 19th that you heard his name? Correct. And she hit it like 5-6 times, making sure she was knocking him down to the first time you heard of Bryan Kohberger was the 19th. But Brett Payne also said that the FBI was co-located with them for weeks ahead of that. And then a document comes out, and I showed it on the video that you're talking about, where on the 5th of December, weeks before the 19th, when they said they knew of Bryan Kohberger, Moscow Police Department had a document where one name was redacted in the there was 2 suspects. One's redacted, and we still can't see who the other suspect is. But one of the 2 suspects was listed as Bryan Kohberger on the 5th of December. And I lost my shit. So then I'll explain it to people if you're not understanding. Why does it matter? Why does it matter if they knew about Kohberger on the 5th or the 19th? It matters everything. It matters everything. And I can explain why. So then I started looking through the evidence collection, and wouldn't you fucking know? Evidence was tampered with, or there's evidence of evidence tampering. The samples that were sent came in with either a missing evidence tag or an evidence tag that wasn't signed. And so they wrote in there, hey, when we got this wasn't signed. So I went ahead and put a new sticker on it and they signed it. That's fucking bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Let me explain as best I can. Here's a scenario. If the feds already thought Bryan Kohberger was involved in that murder by the 5th of December, Othram Labs were still testing the DNA and quit working on the DNA on the 10th of December. Now listen carefully. On the 5th of December, Bryan Kohberger is listed on a document as a suspect in this crime on the 5th. On the 10th, 5 days later, Othram Labs is told to stop working on the DNA because they couldn't get it to Bryan Kohberger. They got it to 4 brothers who, if you went to CrimeCon, they'll tell you, were 4 brothers from Pennsylvania, which none of them were Bryan Kohberger. The FBI told Othram Labs
none
to
of
stop
them
working on it.
None of them.
None of them were Bryan Kohberger. None of them were Kohberger's last name. None of them. So FBI told Othram to stop working on it, and then they developed through through techniques that they refused to talk to Ann Taylor about. They refused to show it. Bryan Kohberger has the right to see what evidence is presented against him and how they got to him. And they said, nope, we won't show it to you. It's law enforcement secrets. We don't have to show you. And she's like, yeah, you do have to show us. You can't put somebody away without them being able to challenge the evidence you have against him. Nope, we're not going to show you. And they intended never to show anybody how they got to it. So the point being is, let me finish the thought. If they felt that Bryan Kohberger was the person involved or one of the people involved on the 5th, and Othram Labs couldn't get them what they wanted, which was Bryan Kohberger's name because they know Bryan Kohberger's involved with it, they just took over and made it Bryan Kohberger. And then they told us, oh, by the way, we have reason to believe that this DNA sample has a high likelihood of being Bryan Kohberger, and Bob's your uncle. And then everybody went out from there on out and said, well, they've got Bryan Kohberger's DNA at the scene. No, they did not. They had DNA of one of 4 brothers from Pennsylvania. None of them were Kohberger. And the FBI did some machinations and then said, oh, trust us, it somehow gets to Kohberger. So, and then you've got evidence tampering in there and all kinds of stuff, which indicates to me that they already knew who they wanted for the crime. And here's the thing. They couldn't put him there. And I'll finish this thought. I said I was going to stop talking, but they couldn't put him there. So what did they do? What did they do? According to Ann Taylor, they planted evidence to put him at the scene because they couldn't put him in the house. There was no DNA. There was nothing. Kohberger, if he did go into the house, he left nothing there. And they're like, fuck it. We know he did it. So we've got to put him in the house. So we'll put DNA in the house and we'll say it's Bryan Kohberger. And we'll lean on Molly McMichael to say that she saw Bryan Kohberger that night walking into the house, which she did not. And that was horseshit. And that fell apart. They tried 2 different ways to put Bryan Kohberger in the house. And at the end of the day, Bill Thompson got up in front of all of us and said, we can't put Bryan Kohberger in the house. So.
Top dog. Honestly, it's a great video. I just showed it on screen. I'll show it one more time here. It's called Proof the DNA was planted to convict Kohberger in Idaho 4. Here's what it looks like. Devil's Advocates, make sure you guys go show DA some love. And he puts out great stuff. He's talking about a multitude of cases as well. So I appreciate that on Mondays you come up here and you've leaned into, I've decided I'm going to make my bed with this case. So thank you, for. I want
to tease one more thing. I want people to have a chance to go watch my video that's dropping 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, because what happened is when I made that video and I talked about, I believe Othram Labs developed the DNA to the 4 brothers who were Brent Kopacka from Pennsylvania. A guy busted my balls on that video and said, I hate to burst everybody's bubbles, but Kopackas never were from Pennsylvania. This guy's wrong. Here's Kopacka's family. Here's their names. And none of them are from Pennsylvania. He's fucking wrong. And I lost my shit today, and I made a video 1 hour and 20 minutes long where I show you all the receipts that proves Kopacka's family is from Pennsylvania, that proves the whole thing, and lays out more specifically how I think Brent Kopacka met Bryan Kohberger and how that whole thing happened. It's a little circumstantial, but again, as I say in the video, you love circumstantial evidence because you just convicted a man on circumstantial evidence. There's nothing really putting Kohberger there. So you apparently love circumstantial evidence. So I got circumstantial evidence for you that's even better than the circumstantial bullshit you bought on the Bryan Kohberger.
Dude. Hey. Yes. I mean, said, bro.
I'm irritated. I kind of let that guy have it with both barrels. And I think he just got, unfortunately, to get the entire wrath of everybody challenging me on the Devil's Advocates is wrong. Brent Kopacka had nothing to do with it. He wasn't even in Pennsylvania. My ass. I prove just watch the video. I prove his mom is in Pennsylvania, and I give you a real good reason why Brent Kopacka was also in Pennsylvania. I cannot prove Kopacka was in Pennsylvania, but I can put his mom there, and I can tell you exactly why I think Brent Kopacka was there, and I can tell you why I think he met Amanda Kohberger, and I can tell you why he met Bryan Kohberger, and I can give you all the things and why I think they met in Pennsylvania and came out here. And I think the feds were watching them since they came out together. But
dude, well said. And thank you to Beth, who gave us a $10 super chat saying just love and respect for you both. Lee to Lee B, and then Beth again. Just as a reminder, any super chats or tips, the tip link, the mods will drop, but super chats and tips will pop up right here. Anything over $4.99, which I will address immediately. And DA, I gotta say, what you just did and what you just laid out there, not many people have like the internal fortitude, the intestinal fortitude to do, where somebody said something in your comments that stuck with you. You didn't go out of your way necessarily to just attack them. You said you brought the receipts. That's dropping tomorrow at 8 a.m. But you've also heard things on this stream for months now about these four
Yeah.
brothers. And what are the coincidences? I believe the analogy that you used, if my memory serves me correct, is that you said if we were sitting in a bar and you just so happen to be from this town in Pennsylvania, and then so is this person from that town in Pennsylvania, and now you're in little Moscow, Idaho, or Pullman, Washington, and all this goes down, and there's connections to X, Y, and Z. Yeah, that's a trip. That's a trip that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and another thing, by the way, that was new to me when I was making the video rant addressing this guy's, hey, you're wrong. There was an early video. I don't know if you remember. Brent Kopaka was on a video where he on body cam. It was a different incident where he said he gave the address of where he was staying, and it was Pimlico Apartments, not the coffee house apartments where he was staying when he was shot and killed. He said he was staying at Pimlico Apartments. That is literally right next door to where Bryan Kohberger's apartments were. They were literally right next to it. If he gave the address correctly, Pimlico Apartments was right beside the Steptoe Apartments where Kohberger was at. They were literally like neighbors right beside each other. The story about him being at the coffee house apartments, there's reason to believe that was all horseshit. And if you watch the video of the shooting, there was no furniture in that house. I'm not sure Kopaka was staying at the coffee house apartments. I think that was all part of the cover-up. They done fucked up and they killed Kopaka, and they were left with only one guy left that they thought was involved with the crime, and they couldn't put him at the crime scene, so they did their damnedest to make sure they put him at the crime scene.
And so can we kind of go back to, so with that being said, okay, I'm seeing stuff in the chat, right, where people are like, there's bits and pieces that are true. Everybody thinks that about their own theory. I actually came up here on stream last night and the night before, and I said, I would give my best theory a C+, right? I'm not trying to say that, or how should I say this? I'm not trying to like spin everybody around. I believe what I'm saying. I know that I've looked into it, but if I had a gun to my head, I would say this is like slightly above a C grade when it comes to all the other, mismatched components that could come together, right? And you have to start to wonder, DA, that direction, the countless directions that I've gone into, the countless directions that many other people who have dove into these documents have gone into. These documents, they're no longer a mistake, okay? It's bureaucracy. That's what this is. I truly believe this. It is not accidental. It is like a weapon of informational release, information management, whatever you want to say. It's just, we have to be like pattern hunters. That's what we have to be at this point. There's going to be patterns that start to emerge in these documents. They're going to be too easy to poke holes in, right? That's what I was saying in the intro. Like, we just broke through the front line way too easy the second we got our first shot at them. Like, within hours, guys. It's so obvious. We have to slow down, and rather than only get worked up on that's contradicting and that's wrong, right? Which is true. Legally, that would have been known during this case. I know people say, no, it was sealed, it was redacted, whatever it is. No. Guys, they knew this, and they went forward with what we were told. So think about this. All of this happened before the narrative. I just want to make sure everybody's reminded of that. This was all known, and holy hell, blue-eyed candy. Let's go. Top dog. Finally heard the 911 radio dispatch traffic. Lana, Truth and Transparency, finally heard what I expected to hear as former 911 dispatcher. Confirmed 4 victims. The first victim, not conscious, not breathing. Acknowledged a bloody scene and first responders radio traffic. Hang on. So Lana put out the 911 radio dispatch traffic, which is different than the call. So she's going to be talking about, this is referring to, as Blue Eyed Candy is saying, about over the dispatch. So what does the person receiving the call actually say to the police officers? Correct me if I'm wrong, DA. Like, I know it's simple, but I just want to make sure.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Wow. And thank you for the super chat. And Mama Daz 6'7" comes right in right after that and says, I'm waiting for the truth. And between the two of you, as well as a few other content creators, I feel we will get the truth. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Mama Daz and Blue Eyed Candy, and everybody that does feel kind enough to, to give the super chats. It's
Let me ask you. I got to ask a really, really difficult question. This is going to be really challenging for the audience. Let's say for a minute that my theory that I have, and it's not, again, it's not going to be super popular, but let's say my theory was right. It was one of the first things I said. What if Bryan Kohberger was just the getaway driver? What if Bryan Kohberger literally that night?
You've always come back to that.
Right? What if he drove by and picked up Kopaka, took him to the house? Kopaka said, maybe even Kopaka said, hey, I'm going to go in and get some stuff. I'll be right back. Maybe Kohberger didn't even know what happened. Maybe he was there at the scene, right? What if that happens? Now, here's the problem I have. And this is a challenging, hard question. And I don't know how even I necessarily totally feel about it. Well, I kind of do. But if law enforcement knows in the bottom of their soul that it was committed by Kohberger and somebody else, and that somebody else is now dead and they can't prosecute that person, but somebody has to be held accountable and they know Kohberger was involved, is it okay for you that they make that guy go down one way or another? Because at the end of the day, he was involved. So is it okay if you need to break the law, fake some evidence, plant the evidence at the scene to make sure you get the guy that you know damn well was there, but he was just too good and didn't leave anything behind? So you're going to make sure that he gets caught and spends the rest of his life in jail so that the family gets justice? Do you feel that's right? Or is there a part of you that says, you're going to have to, in this case, let a killer go free or somebody who is an accomplice go free because you can't break the law to get the bad guy? And it's I'm not even telling you how to feel about it. It's a really difficult question, because if Kohberger was involved and they knew it, but they couldn't prove it, is it okay for them to break the law to make him go down for it when they couldn't prove it?
Well, let me take that a step further, because I will see people, and also my own personal opinion, right? Like, I would say, I don't think Bryan was at the house for that manner in the getaway driver, but it's not to say that, none of us know. I'm also not trying to pussyfoot against that. That's my belief. That is my belief, right? And I also know that you've had your theory for a while too. But I want to talk about the question that you just said at the end. Well, why would they feel righteous enough to do that? How could they be able to lay their head on their pillows at night knowing they did that? What is your answer? Because I have a rather obvious one now, given everything else.
Well, I mean, again, if they are convinced that he was involved in the murder, they probably feel fine making sure that the right guy goes down for it. And they're okay. They can sleep at night because they know at the end of the day, they got quote unquote justice. And it doesn't bother them that they had to, do whatever they needed to make sure the right guy went down. The problem you have is that if they're willing to lie to everyone in America and essentially shame people like you and I for questioning the narrative, which we know is bullshit, and they're making us look like we're assholes for pointing out the fact that the facts they're not adding up. The math's not mathing. Well, yeah, it's not mathing because they lied. So if they're going to shame us for pointing out that you lied, how far will it go? How much are you going to lie? How much is again, you have to ask yourself, if they're going to lie about this, what else are they going to lie about? So that's the thing you have to ask yourself. What else are they going to lie about?
Well, and we're also working within the confines of bullshit, right? We're working within the confines of a narrative story, of a narrative case, meaning there's a really good argument to be made. Is suspect vehicle 1 the plainclothes police officers in the Ford Fusion? Is it the Elantra? People have their opinions on it. Here's the thing. How is that even in question still? Right? Like, that's my point, DA. I'm trying to look at it from a 40,000 foot view. I can acknowledge, and most people in here can acknowledge, that there is a multitude of things that make more sense than others, no matter which theory you believe. But let's talk about the 40,000 foot view. Name another homicide case with a serial killer or just a lone wolf where there's this much footage, this many documents, these many interviews. He didn't, and even if it's not Bryan, and there's other people's DNA and suspects, listed in the reports, you got no timeline. You got no account for where Xana and Ethan are. You're going off of grainy ass footage. That in itself is what I'm trying to get through to people's heads. We know what they're telling us is not true. While yes, that is important to continue to yell from the rooftops, we also need to keep ourselves in check. We are ahead of the curve in a lot of ways in this case. There are people who, for the first time ever, are just now tuning in to shows like this after seeing continued interviews or footage of Kohberger being released in prison or complaints that it's weird. It's waking people up, and they're just now tuning in. So the part that I want to say is this is too easy to poke holes in, to think that anybody in many agencies, many court systems, many families would ever put up with. And it's wild that it's all been tied into a perfectly tied bow in the media. And that's what I'm saying is, like, we have to slow down. Yes, it's wrong. Let's address that. There's 1,000 things. We've already said it. There's going to be more and more and more. It's going to continue to keep us spinning our wheels. This is all wrong. This is all wrong. That's not right. Oh my God. They should have known because of this. But what about the 40,000 foot view? Instead of saying it's wrong, why? Why are they doing that? And there's only a couple of reasons. It's a cover up. They really did just do dirty, bad. But then they also know they're going to be held accountable, which is stupid, because they're not trying to hide their names or anything. And Drew Bledsoe, thank you for the super chat, says Rosendahl, Officer, D. Loach, Hunter Chapin, Jackson Showalter, Jackson D, Dylan, Ben, Alex, Brett Payne, President Green, Stacy Chapin, all of them done know what really happened. So do I. And Drew, absolutely, like, he feels a lot of conviction in that. I've talked to Drew, aka David Loach, right? A lot of really good points, things that not many people talk about. But why do these documents not point to anybody that Drew just said? Why do these documents not point to Kopaka? Why do these documents not point to Kohberger? Why do they point to people that are not white people? There's a Native American, there's Mexican descent, there's things with the likelihood ratio that would have counted out Kohberger and a lot of people that we're here saying are suspects. That is a DNA factual breakdown. What is your thought on that?
I don't know that I just feel like at some point when they realized that, here's the thing. I mean, I think they had no idea when this happened that it was going to get the media attention that it did. So what happened was they started making some little lies to get this thing solved, and they had no idea that it was going to explode at the level that it did, and that YouTubers were going to be jumping all over and crawling up their ass on every single thing. And so then it was like, oh, well, we got this one little problem. Let's fix that. And then incrementally, they just kept burying themselves deeper and deeper in the cover-up, because it might have started out with a real simple thing that they thought was just going to be swept under the rug. Like, unfortunately, a lot of people will just get swept under the rug because they don't have national spotlights on them. And I think they thought that maybe they had the ignorance of thinking that nobody would pay attention, and this would just be an easy to fudge something, put somebody in jail, and it's done. But as they started to get more and more criticism, they had to make more and more cover-ups to cover up the fact that they've been covering stuff up, because that's where they're really going to get in trouble. If it's proven that they've been covering things up, then people are going to potentially go to jail. People are going to lose their licenses. People are going to get disbarred if they're in legal profession, fired, lose their pensions. Like, there could be major repercussions for the people who tried to cover this up. So everyone at this point is protecting their careers, because if it comes out that they were covering stuff up, and then it just perpetuates the cover-up, because you got to cover up that you're covering it up, because you're fucked. Like, everybody's going to be in big trouble. So,
well, I agree with that. And Drew Bledsoe to that point did just say, exactly. They thought they could bury Bryan. I agree with that. Even like, this is the third time now that I brought up Olivia, which is more than I've done since I've started covering this case. I'm telling you, her TikTok that she pointed out where she was like, this cover-up theory makes no sense. Bryan was literally a nobody. Bryan is connected to nobody. There's no motivation to frame Bryan to cover up for anything else. And it was weird, because for the first time, I'm like, that seems cryptic. Go watch Steve and Chrissy's interview last night. That shit, the fact that they're talking to effing doctor and he's saying this, they're saying all this stuff about Thompson, saying that Thompson doesn't represent our family. Thompson's pretty much a pussy, right?
Yeah, right.
And then he just follows up with nothing. Like, I say this knowing this will never happen in a way, right? But I'm also saying this from the bottom of my heart and genuinely. If those families were looking for a place to get the word out, the people that they're going to will never do that for them. They're too simple-minded. Yeah. They are too, heels dug into that narrative. So I would rather address the awkward fact of, yeah, you know what? If you were Steve, I would say, Steve, there was some shit on Fox News outside Moscow PD where I thought it was a little bit psychic and narrative planting of you, not psycho, like psychic abilities to say that there is going to be a family lineage company used. And then everything that you stated pans out that same way. What did you mean by someone be alpha, someone step up? Why has nobody asked him this? What do you mean he didn't have to go up the stairs? Why has nobody asked him this?
Right. Oh, we've been asking that question. Nobody
That's
will
what
answer.
I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd rather have it be a little bit of an awkward moment of somebody who's truly critically thinking. But if he's actually critically thinking, and if it was flipped, I feel like I would rather address it with somebody like this than some weirdo doctor that says Kohberger's doing the slow stroke on the cinder block and this is still sexual.
God, yeah.
It's just so effed.
Yeah. Yeah. This case is going to drive me to drink and has been, I think.
Dude, okay. I hate to say this. I know we're only 47 minutes in. I have to race like a piss horse. So bad. Okay.
Race like a piss horse. Go do it.
So bad. Okay. All right, D, I'm going to put you full screen. You talk about whatever you want.
Somebody was asking me a question about the families and the location of the families in Pennsylvania. So I'll try to, I just remember the question was, DA, can you tell us what town? So I'll just answer that because I'm killing time. Williamsport, Pennsylvania is where Darcy Nixon, mother of Brent Kopacka, had her house, 2 houses actually, in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The Kohbergers are from Albertsbright, Pennsylvania, but they also have other locations as well. Then you also continue, central Pennsylvania. Really, I think if you take the 2 furthest points out, Williamsport to Albertsville, I think it's like 2-hour drive. At one point, you've got Effort, Pennsylvania, which is like within an hour and a half. You start getting that narrowed down. There was a creator, by the way, Albrightsville, I believe, is where the Kohberger's house was at. But there was a video, and it's interesting, by Crime Circus Drip Drop. And I was trying to go back to reference that video. And like someone told me, Drip Drop apparently on Crime Circus has pulled almost every single video he has done on Idaho 4. There's nothing there anymore. He had a video way back 7 months ago when I did a video. Drip Drop had a video showing where he believed Kopacka and Kohberger were living in the same town. And he even showed a picture of the house where Kopacka was living. I cannot prove it. I've reached out to Drip Drop on Crime Circus to say, dude, you can't just drop a bomb like this is where Kopacka was living in Pennsylvania and not show me the receipts. I need to see the receipts because I've been trying to put Kopacka in Pennsylvania for quite some time because I believe he was there. And those videos are gone. They're gone. And so I still don't have that proof, but it is believed by, at least in that video, that Kopacka lived in the same town where the school was that Kohberger was going to his undergrad work, that they may have even shared a location. I laid out the receipts in tomorrow's video that's going to drop on the Kopacka Kohberger receipts showing why I believe that they knew each other. I believe that the connection, and I said this 7 months ago, which was that there was a horror film thing. Kohberger's sister Amanda was in a horror film called 2 Days Back. Amanda Kohberger and Brent Kopacka are 2 years apart. They're basically the same age. They were obsessive horror film fans. Is it completely illogical to think that Kopacka, if he was nearby him a film fan, that he could have run into somebody like Amanda Kohberger? Or you take the logic that some people say Kohberger and Kopacka did drugs together. If that was the case, what if Kopacka knew Kohberger and Kohberger said, hey, by the way, you're a horror film, my sister's starring in a horror film? It's not easy, it's not hard to conjecture how it is possible Kopacka knew Amanda Kohberger from the horror film movies, and I'm laying that out tomorrow and showing you. Again, speculative, I can't prove it, but I can make it. I feel like that story is a hell of a lot more believable than this story. And this is what I say in that video as well. Here you go. You tell me which makes more sense. Kopaka could have been in Pennsylvania with his mom right after getting out of the military. That's what I'm saying. Kopaka's mom was living there. He got out of the military. The first place you're probably going to go after you get out of the military is go with your mom because you're getting your feet back on your ground. If he's there in Pennsylvania, near where a horror film is being filmed with Kohberger's sister Amanda, and you're into horror films, what are the chances that you couldn't possibly have met that person and gotten connected that way? And then if you find out that Bryan Kohberger was obsessed about becoming an Army Ranger, what was Kopaka? Kopaka was a paratrooper. He wasn't necessarily a ranger, but he was an Army paratrooper, and they train with Rangers. So you have to wonder that. And I know that sounds speculative, but what makes more sense? This narrative I'm starting to lay out for you, or this narrative? Maybe Bryan Kohberger went to the Mad Greek restaurant, but we can't prove it. There's no receipts saying he ever went there. And maybe when he was there, maybe Maddie was working there that night, but we can't prove it because there's no receipts that he ever saw Maddie. And maybe when he saw Maddie, he became so obsessed with her beauty that he realized he can't have her because he's an incel, and it drove him mad, and he had to go kill her or rape her because he was obsessed with Maddie, none of which have any receipts. And because of that, he decided he would just go over and randomly wipe out a house of 4 people, leaving 2 alive. That all makes fucking sense to you? But what I'm telling you doesn't make sense to you? Are you kidding me? I feel like I've got a better story. I think I've got a more logical story, and I'm going to lay it out.
And you want to know what? Just I've heard this before from us talking, right? I think what's important to take away from that is look at how DA tells that story. You can feel the passion and the belief coming through the screen. And DA, I am not trying to compare you to Dot, to WSU Kim, to anybody. But I think that with those people that said they were aware of it, meaning they had gotten firsthand information, all of that comes through the screen way more believable than everything that we've been told. And there's just normies and these people that eat it up like it's gospel. And that's wrong. So you saying that, at least you can say because of this. And look over here. Look at this document. And then look at where, you know what I mean? You can do that. So to hate on that, because it's not what the story is what, again, as I'm calling the normies, the people that don't have brains, the people that when you see them in grocery stores, for whatever reason, that's where these NPCs in my life at least show up the most. I literally, next time you grocery shop, look around and see how many people are like actively present. It's like nobody at all.
Right.
It's quite concerning.
They're on autopilot.
I really wonder if there are people that are in this realm, this simulation that we call Earth, which, by the way, I don't want to go that deep off the rails, but I've gotten got by AI videos now, DA, like 5 times in the last 2 weeks. And if AI videos at the level they're at now, who's to say that, whatever, I got to stop because now I'm going to go off on a way different tangent.
I want to address something real quick. Somebody had asked me, where can I hear your theory, DA? I want to address that real quick if you don't mind. 7 months ago, so I have a video dropping tomorrow morning. It's members only right now. It's available for $2.99. If you're a member, you can watch the video right now. I mean, immediately, right after you leave this thing, you could go watch it. But if you want to wait till 8 o'clock in the morning, it'll be public. That video is called Kopaka Kohberger with Receipts or something like that. It's going to show out the whole thing. And I'm also going to reference a video I shot 7 months ago, where I talked about this same thing 7 months ago, about the horror film thing, about Darren Duncan saying what if he thought happened that night, how they killed Kopaka because they thought he was involved in the murders, how they factory wiped his phone to hide something, and that was super fucking suspicious. I talked about that 7 months ago. I'm still talking about it. So if you want to watch the video ahead of time, go back and look through my channel for a video called Devil's Briefcase, the horror movie theory. That's my first time I talked about that in depth 7 months ago, the horror movie theory. You can search for that on my channel. If you want tomorrow, I have a drop where I'm going to take a snippet from that video 7 months ago saying this is what I said 7 months ago, and it's still true today. So, and that's coming out tomorrow morning.
You've always stuck to that theory. I mean, I think it's interesting. And if you're going to be in here, and I'm not trying to go to bat for you, DA. I know you can defend yourself, nor am I really even trying to defend you right now. I'm just trying to talk on the whole principle of like, this is a contrarian thinking space. Okay. So you can disagree with it. Do I agree with everything that you said? No. I will guarantee you, DA, a lot of stuff that I've said, you don't agree with, but we can have a conversation around it. We can wrap our heads around the fact of like, here's why you think that.
Yeah,
You know?
and I want to hit that a little bit further. People ask me all the time, why are you not talking about the drug angle, DA? Why are you not going on the drug angle? And here's the reason why, and I'll tell you part of the reason why. Pavarotti has been on the drug angle for years. And everybody is going to tell me Pavarotti's already solved this case 2 years ago. It's a drug hit, it's whatever, and he's been talking about it for 2 years. There's not a lot of value for me to just tell you the same thing Pavarotti's been telling you for years. So, like you said, I came up with a theory a long time ago that said, playing devil's advocates, what if Bryan Kohberger was just the getaway driver? What if that explains everything? What if that explains why his car, if it was his car, I'm not even conceding it is his car, but if his car really was circling the neighborhood, what if he was just the getaway driver? What if Kohberger literally dropped somebody off? They went in, maybe he didn't even know what was going to happen. Maybe somebody said, hey, I want to go in and get something somebody took from me. I'll be right back. Committed a horrendous murder, jumped back in the car. What was one of the first things Kohberger said when he was arrested, allegedly, which was, is anybody else arrested for this? Has anybody else been picked up for this? Because Kohberger knew there was somebody else with him. He was with somebody that night. That's the theory. Now, where I'm going with that is, why do I not spend a whole bunch of time on the drug angle? It's not that I don't think the drug angle is possible. It's that not a lot of people are covering my angle. A lot of people have backed away from Kohberger or Kopacka. I'm still telling you that this is my bailiwick, right? I'm convinced that the four brothers in Pennsylvania that Othram Lab developed to was Kopacka's family. That's what I'm going on. So I'm going to keep hitting it. It doesn't mean that at the end of the day, I could be wrong and Pavarotti's right with the drug angle, or Birdie's right with whatever theory that he's working on. It doesn't mean that any of these other creators are wrong. It's just that I don't need to parrot everything that Pavarotti says, and I don't need to parrot everything Birdie says. I got my own thing, and if we all have our own angle we're working, somebody's going to help break this thing open, because maybe it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, well said. And I do like how you put the emphasis on whatever Birdie's saying. Like, as if it could be anything.
You've had a lot of theories, right? Yeah.
Well, and I have something pulled up that I want to break down because Blue Eyed Candy was kind enough to give that awesome super chat with Lana's new video. So I have a little bit of that. I haven't heard that dispatch thing yet. Have you?
No.
Okay. So I figured let's show that. It's not that long. It's 10 minutes.
Okay.
But but in general, what I was going to say is this. What I thought was really interesting is that I was talking last night or the night before about how I've thought contrarily on everything. Okay. Brian Laundrie was never at his parents' house. Maybe Shanann did walk in on Chris Watts. Maybe Stephen Avery was framed by his defense team. All of these theories, boom, and it's not about them taking off. It's rather the lack of like friction from just people who have followed the case. This, if you just say Bryan Kohberger might have been framed.
Yeah.
The first line of the defense isn't even the news shutting it down. It's a bunch of weirdos, psychos who want to end your life and wish you were dead.
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of hatred out there. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm going to bite my tongue. It's just when I've set up Dumb Playing Nice about it, part of me is like, I'm waiting for the next person to make an example of. I'm waiting to actually sick the hive on them. I've never done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that there are people in here. I have everybody in here's back. Right? I have your back. I have everybody in the chat's back. I have the mods back. They have my back. I'm waiting. I'm just, because it's going to end up happening. And then fine. Let's just show people that we're not playing around anymore. Let's just show people that maybe we've been the easy target and been a little bit too nice. And let's just actually go and fuck you up like you're trying to threaten us that you're going to do. Because it would be really easy.
Yeah.
And there's more of us than there are of you at the end of the day. There's been that way. It has been that way.
Yeah.
People have just been afraid to come out of the woodwork until they've had a spot to actually feel like they've been heard. Okay? I'm not threatening anybody. I'm not trying to be a hard ass. I'm just saying I'm done taking it personally too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it.
Okay.
I mean, and like I said, I know we're going to get to that audio that we're going to play, but I mean, yeah, it's unfortunately this guy this video that I made tomorrow morning, that's like an hour and 20 minutes long, is me basically taking 2 years or whatever, getting kicked in the teeth and venting all at once, and like making that guy, that poor bastard, be the center of the, okay, all you assholes who keep telling me that I have no receipts. Here it is again. I'm going to lay it out one more time for all you that say I'm just making shit up. Oh God. Okay. Anyways, clickbait. DA, you'll say whatever you can say for clickbait. Fuck you. Do you realize the media, mainstream media, has been clickbaiting your ass the whole time and getting commercials put on there, getting money off of you watching their bullshit? They've been clickbaiting your ass for fucking years. So I don't want to hear crap about me clickbaiting you because I'm trying to get to the bottom of what really happened. Anyways, okay, I'm done.
I've actually had a theory that it's time to start clickbaiting normies because everybody in here is seeing like what we're doing. And I said,
yeah,
maybe it's time for us to start clickbaiting stuff. And that's why I did the whole, like, I changed my mind on Bryan Kohberger. Because I'm just waiting for people to stumble into this hornet's nest. And then all of a sudden they can't get out. They're like, God damn it. Everything Birdie says, I've been thinking. I didn't know people said this. Ashley Banfield got me convinced with the muffin top pictures. So, you know what? I didn't want to watch this, but you got clickbaited. It works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does.
Actually, I'd be curious. Then I'll play this video. Type a 1 if either of those clickbait titles got you into the hive. And if no one's come in, it is what it is. But I'm just curious. Like, is there anybody that maybe saw, oh my God, Birdie changed his mind, and then you watched it and you're like, God damn it, I believe in this. I also think this.
If I had a remote in my hand when I saw your title saying I've changed my mind about Bryan Kohberger, he must have done it, I about threw my remote across. Birdie, what the fuck did you just do? I was like, and then I was like, I tell you this, I was like, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. If he saw something, maybe he saw something that really changes everything. I can't wait to see what it is that changed his mind. And then I was like, I got played because you're like, as soon as you started going into I got it. That face, who else makes that face other than a killer? And I was like, you got me, dude. You got me.
Well, and I reserve the right to say this. You guys have my word. Right hand on the Bible on my father's ashes. Like, if there's something that says Bryan Kohberger did this, I'll be the first to sound the alarm if I have the first access to it. I've never wanted a murderer to get away with it. I just know that that's so far out the window at this point that I feel very confident, like, betting that on everything, anything. I would feel so confident to say, like, I would put damn near anything on the line. Bryan Kohberger, if we were going to say, like, if this was real, like Squid Games type shit, I would bet my own life Bryan Kohberger did not do this alone. That's how serious I am. I would put my own life on the line, gun to my head, and I would say there's no way he did it alone. Is that too extreme for this conversation, DA? Sorry, I didn't want to weird you out there. I'm just saying, like, I really believe that to my core.
Yeah, I've always said that Kohberger didn't do it alone. I mean, if and I will say, if Kohberger did it at all, he didn't do it alone. I've always said it did not happen the way they told you it did. That's a lie. I am 100% convinced that what Kohberger confessed to is not how it happened. It's not how it happened. But that's what, what are you, at the end of the day, what are you going to do? He said he did it all alone. So, but anyway,
what if Bryan Kohberger is a whistleblower?
I'm not even sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, all of these things are possible.
Yeah. So real quick too, I'm going to play this video from Lana. Lana has the dispatch, the police radio traffic from 11:56 a.m. to 11:45 p.m. It's only 11 minutes. I haven't seen this yet, but guys, just let's take a break. We're after the first hour. I'm not going to go anywhere. My phone died, so I can't see this, but just hit that like button. Okay. We got almost 1,100 people in here right now tuning in. Let's get more people who are open-minded, that like to think critically. This doesn't go anywhere if we're not doing something that costs nothing and takes 2 seconds, which is hit the like. Okay, don't make UFO Dog cry. Don't drive DA to drinking, no matter how much you like to see it. Okay, his soup ladle coffee, or not his coffee bowl, his salad bowl coffee mug. Okay,
no
matter how much you like to see him blush about big titties or tiggle bitties, right? None of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Please don't make UFO Dog cry. It's not good. Give a like for baby Birdie. So yeah, somebody said it's a swimming pool coffee cup, DA.
It is. It's a big. It is more like a soup mug, but hey, it was.
Why don't you have that?
I'm not drinking tonight. I didn't drink the other night either. Even though other people were drinking, I didn't drink. I'm just kind of like, I'm just kind of in the mellow mode at the moment.
Check out my new sunglasses. All right.
Let's play this audio. I want to hear this audio from this.
Me too.
Yeah.
So this is Truth and Transparency. This is Lana. This is my first time seeing this. You as well, DA.
Yeah.
All right. 1 second. Let me just adjust. There we go. All right. Here we go.
Dispatching Moscow Law
You got
ambulance
audio?
for unconsciousness 1122 King Road.
70 en route for Tweet and Beacon.
I'm going to go back and put the closed captions on. So I'm restarting it. Here we go.
Okay.
Dispatching Moscow Law ambulance for unconsciousness 1122 King Road.
70 en route for Tweet and Beacon. 6 up.
I was paging. I copied 170. What was the second unit going en route?
46.
I copy. Multiple RPs on the phone advising a roommate on scene is passed out, not waking up, believes they got drunk last night, and states something about a male being in the room with them. Trying to get further. Units responding, RPs advising the patient is not conscious, not breathing.
Does that sound anything like the 911 operator? That was my first thought.
Oh.
It
Gosh,
doesn't sound like the
belong to the
voice.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the same person. No. This is a
Right.
dispatcher, not the 911 call. Yeah.
Okay. But still, I mean, I don't know if it would be the same person. That could have also just been a very stupid comment. In my mind, I'm like, I would think that it would be the same person relaying from just based on how quick shit has to happen. How does that
Yeah.
person, right? I don't know. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Copy, not conscious, not breathing. Moscow 46 out.
Copy.
13, I think we have a homicide. 1370.
70. 1071, I relayed it. Moscow 113 is out.
Copy.
1370, information. 2 college-age people appearing both to be deceased. Lots of blood. I copy. Make sure EMS, if they are DRT. Yeah, they're DRT. Copy, start locking it down.
7153, keep bringing my camera. For my flip around, where's it located? Charging. Copy.
Moscow 113 there.
113, I copy. And just checking, did you want EMS to continue in or stage until otherwise notified?
We can stage.
I copy stage.
4613.
We're going to be clearing the house. It's not 100% empty.
Copy, make sure you get everybody's name.
Welcome. 13105, they're on call today.
Copy, thank you. 13, we have 2 additional deceased on the 3rd floor.
I copy. Mossy, if we have footprints coming out the back and open door.
so can I just ask this as we're going through this? Why don't we hear any of this in any body cam? That's all
Yeah.
I'm asking. Like, why is it? So what is this from? Help me understand that. I'm not trying to be a douchebag here. How do we not hear this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the voice?
Yeah. Good question.
13 copies. 13 said 1 corner is notified. Moscow 36 will attach.
Go
Last. Good to birth.
You know what we need to do? And I'm not going to pause it after this, DA. I'm going to say this. I'm going to screen record this audio and I'm going to link it up with the body cam footage. And I bet.
See if you see anybody actually radioing this stuff in so that they are getting this information. Yeah.
No, but I was going to say, I bet that I'd be curious if the body cam that we see, right, from Nunes getting out of his car lines up with this.
Yeah.
It's also
It
only
feels like
11
this is
minutes.
too fast. It feels like this is going too
Sped
fast
up.
for what we saw in the videos. Yeah, but
This seems like it's doubled in speed. I'm
Yeah.
not going to change anything with it right now. I just want people to know, like, this is worth diving into because we don't hear anything that's said in this call as they're apparently walking through the scene. So did they dub over this? But if they dubbed over this, then how did they know it if nobody's saying it on the body cam footage? Is my point.
yeah.
Yeah, threat out.
Confirming the middle, the radio cut out.
Hey, sir.
12-0. 146, he's clear attached.
5-3, I'm here with the camera.
Copy, I'll be down that way in a second. 5313, let's encompass the parking lot too for this address. I copy.
113, Moscow.
Go ahead.
Just information, there's a name and number CC'd into the call. I can provide details over the radio or on the phone if you needed it.
I copy.
Call 25.
4613, let me know when 102 arrives.
Okay.
Moscow 113, I have 5 registrations to run.
Go ahead.
Next.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The fuck is this?
15 in.
Fucking
Go ahead.
redactions.
Oh my god.
Copy. Did you need a read back or just attach to the call?
Just attach them.
I got
Moscow 70, can I get the time this call was generated?
time of call 11:56.
Copy, thank you.
12:38.
Moscow 102.
102.
I'm out on King Road and I need for
Dude, great point right here. The knife was already on the table, and where's Hunter when they show up?
Yeah.
Guys, you got to understand. You could reason with this is dubbed over or this is that. This is not normal. This is not normal in any way, shape, or form. I'm trying to say this, not that I'm like going out of my way to look for shit on X or Instagram. I've seen like Russian dudes climb up power lines and touch a power line and get zapped to death and fall 1,000,000 feet to their death. And it's terribly traumatizing. I didn't even expect to see it. We've gotten how many versions of this 911 call of when they show up on the scene? What is this? And then there's going to be people that reason with like, oh, well, they dubbed it over for this reason or that reason. Well, just where's the original body cam footage then? Why not? Like, are you releasing this then to cause confusion? Yes. Why?
status.
Copy.
Oscar 107.
107.
I'm in service in Route King Road.
1248.
Oscar 170.
Go ahead.
I'm en route back to the PD for paperwork.
1253.
Oscar 107, I'm on scene. No status.
1253. 113 Moscow.
Go for 13.
My partner was wondering who we should be directing media and public information questions to.
You can just put their information in the call notes. 102 is going to...
My partner was wondering who we should be directing media and public information questions to.
They're already asking.
Yeah.
I got to stop pausing this. I'm going to sit on my hands.
You can just put their information in the call notes. 102 is going to be primary on that.
I copy. Thank you. 170 Moscow.
Go for 70.
I'm not sure if you're still at the station. A few people called that were asked to respond to the PD for this case. Advised they're out front.
W172 is going to meet them out front.
1328.
7213. When you get a second, can you bring me a radio battery?
Can you 10-9 or unreadable?
Can you bring me a radio battery?
1346.
If it's about the two gentlemen carry the items, I am aware.
Negative, there's just a male in a gray shirt, black and gold sweatpants, looked super distraught, but he left up here. He was down on Taylor.
Dude, this is earlier in the night. I already know.
Moscow units, there's a male subject last at the PD waiting for an officer.
Moscow 11, copy. Do you know what it's in reference to?
Call 95.
111.
1349.
Moscow 170.
Go ahead.
I'm en route to the county prosecutor's office.
I copy.
That's a good question. Type a 1 if you are a dispatcher or former dispatcher in the Hive tonight. Great question, Blue Eyed Candy. And I figured Blue Eyed Candy was kind enough to give, the $50 super chat. I wanted to show this. It was only a 10-minute video. But that's a great question. How many people in here have experience with dispatch or have been around it? Oh, wow. You see that, DA?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, this just sounds like it's coming in the middle of everything. Like, it sounds late at night. Wow, 10 years,
people.
Blue-Eyed Candy.
Paramedic, 16.
Paramedic, 16. Yeah, I just saw that, yeah. CK says, yes, more experience than I would like.
In Moscow units, there's a front to pick up 2 subjects from the PD, Black Subaru Legacy.
Quick copy.
Break 113
Wait, what was that?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Subjects from the PD, Black Subaru Legacy.
Quick copy.
Break 113 Moscow.
Go ahead.
We had someone call in advising they may have pertinent video footage for you guys. Name and number is in the call.
We copy.
1405. Moscow units. This is out front of the PD.
70 copies.
1416.
Moscow 167. You can show me on King Road.
Copy.
Why do I feel like Bethany has
Break 102 Moscow.
information?
I don't think he's on radio.
Copy. Break 113 Moscow.
I don't think it's Bethany, bro. I think it's Jenna McClure.
Well, I'm just saying, I think Bethany also may have video footage as well, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think Jenna McClure lived there, hence why her questioning was released as late as it was. And I don't know if you watched it, but it said, I saw them let out Murphy. Think about that. Why would the cops
why
ask
is the dog
Jenna
not-
McClure
no.
who show up if she just really showed up on the street here? What about Murphy? You got Murphy being walked around on a leash by the cops. No, you're talking about everybody else. Yeah, and Drew says, who is the owner of the white Chevy in the driveway? Is that a rhetorical question, Drew, or is that like it's not Maddie's, right? Because you know what I mean? So, Drew, I feel like I know you well enough. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Crime 2 News is calling advising they have a reporter in the area, wondering if someone would be able to talk to her. Do you want me to tell them that they need to wait for a phone call, or would someone be available to head out there?
I already talked to her. You can tell them she's been talked to.
I copy.
And even if this is dubbed over, how is this happening so quickly after the fact?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Moscow 46, I'll be back around to the scene.
1515.
Moscow 46 up.
7713.
Go for 77.
You can tell them to cancel his release.
I couldn't copy 13.
We no longer need him to release 171.
Copy, thanks.
Moscow 113.
Go ahead.
I'll be en route to the station, transporting 140.
Copy.
Moscow 113 is back en route to King Road.
Copy.
Moscow 113 is back out on King Road.
113.
Moscow 170, I'm back out at King Road.
Copy.
Moscow 46, 1019.
1633. Moscow units, there's a of the PD for contact.
171.
16.
Moscow 176.
Go ahead.
I'm not seeing anyone out here right now.
Copy. Copy with another unit. Have traffic. Go ahead.
167 13 1019.
Copy.
Oscar 107.
107.
You can put me out of the station.
1720.
Oscar 176.
Go ahead.
I'm out at King Road.
Copy.
Oscar 153, I'm 10-8.
Copy.
7271. Good. 70's going to leave car 5 for you. Use her in the ignition. Copy.
Oh my God.
Oscar
Go ahead.
Myself and 70 are clear King Road and out of the station.
Still on the call.
Negative.
Copy.
Oscar 113 out the station.
Copy.
Oscar 103 at the station.
Go ahead.
Watching.
Go ahead, Jocelyn.
He's attached at
Copy.
Oscar 129 out on King Road.
2041.
7629. Good. You need to head back out here so I can grab my vehicle. I need to follow the corner. Copy, I'm en route right now. 7629, just stop right there. Oscar 129.
Go ahead.
I'm clear King Road en route to Short.
20.
7629. Good. I think I left my cell phone in that car. If you could bring it to Shorts for me. I copy. Moscow 176. I'm clear of King Road and myself. And 129 have arrived at Shorts Funeral Home.
2133.
Moscow 176. I'm clear.
2135.
Moscow 129.
Go ahead.
I'm clear Shorts and out at the station.
2213.
Moscow 129 is out.
2213.
Moscow 172.
Go ahead.
I'm clear King and out to the PD.
2350.
Moscow just 3.
Go ahead.
I'm clear King and you can show me out of service.
Copy. Good night. 2358.
Moscow 72 out of service.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Moscow
Good
29.
night.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this video's this video's truncated a bunch of stuff. It looks like they're so like the audio's. It seems like the audio's legit, but they've truncated stuff and kind of like took out the gaps. So you're seeing massive time dilation. It seems.
In what time? You're going to tell me this is
this is going because the times that she's reading out are late at night, right? She's reading. If those are times, 21.
No, look on the
hours.
left upper screen.
Yeah, but didn't they just overlay audio over top of a video? So like these things are not synced together, right? They're playing. So again, this is kind of why I'm hesitant about doing stuff live. It seems like they're overlaying truncated audio that's going late into the night over top of a video that they're just showing, and they're not synced. This is not these people walking through the thing is not related to the audio.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is not just like routine privacy stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're absolutely coordinating what the public sees and hears. Even after the fact. Guys, Bryan Kohberger is in effing jail for the rest of his life on 4 consecutive life sentences. What are they hiding? No. You want to know what this tells me? This tells me that something institutional is on the line. That's what this shit tells me. This is massive because you're right. They probably overlaid this audio, and I'm going to calm down.
Right.
They overlaid this audio onto the original body cam footage to cause confusion. This original audio has no business being overlaid on this footage. We've watched this footage. You could say, oh, it didn't pick up that, that mic. No, they're saying good night. It's noon. And then people are going to say, sorry, Dia. If people say that's cop lingo. Okay. Well, then I guess you got me there, but I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that in conjunction with national security, with redactions, with the DNA, with the not being like able to see anything. Dude.
Again, what I don't know is did Lana overlay audio over the video?
Jesus
right?
Christ. Damn it.
Yeah.
Lana.
Right. So it's not like they released this. It's Lana put a video behind the truncated, and again, she's reading out times that are late into the evening. So whole time gaps have been shortened up, and there's just a video playing in the background, which is not linked. And I don't think
God.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like that's.
Yeah, because they're clearly, like you said, they're clearly talking about timestamps at night, 2100 hours, 2200 hours, 2300 hours late at the night. You're seeing bright daylight in this image. This video cannot be the video footage that goes along with the audio, because you're right. They're talking about good night. They're talking about timestamps at night. It's just been truncated and thrown over top of the video feed.
And Philly Special, this is Lana's video. Why? Like, okay, I get it. There's probably an explanation why she did this, whether it just be background footage, trying to line it up with what they're seeing, what they're not. I get that.
Yeah.
But, and I like Lana a lot. Where's like the disclaimer? Because that just got me.
Some people are saying Lana explained this before this video played.
Well, then that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But look at what just happened. I didn't see this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Bertie, this is why I'm so nervous. This is why I'm so nervous about doing stuff live take, because we could be casting our reputations on reacting to something that maybe was explained and we just didn't catch.
Right.
So that's why I get a little bit nervous about it.
And I get that, because that happens to me a lot. So that's not yelling at Lana. It's just I didn't know that going into this. So here I am pausing all this stuff, not knowing that there wasn't this video that you see playing is not correlated with the audio.
Right.
I didn't know that. So that's on me at the end of the day. I've not seen this footage yet. I didn't even know Lana had this until people emailed me. I will own that. And I'm sorry for any confusion that I caused. I'm not putting that on Lana. Right.
Yeah.
I know Lana would never purposely do that. I didn't know she explained this. I didn't see the live. I just clicked the 11-minute 45-second video that is on the profile. Okay. I just want people to know that. Let's clarify this. The audio and the video are not meant to do this. I just fell for that without even trying to be persuaded. I assumed it. So I'm sorry. But damn. That shit had me about to lose
you're
my
like,
ass.
and I mean, your point was true. This does not match up. That point was true. So I mean, you caught that it wasn't matching up. The only thing is I don't know that anybody was intending for it to be taken as matching up. So that's the key part.
Yeah. And hey, my name's Meg. We really can't see your comments. There's 1,200 people in here. They're flying by faster than we could even see them. So I'm not knocking you. It's just, we can't. It's the reality of it. So, and I'm also trying to listen to DA. I'm trying to watch the screen. I'm trying to manage everything on the back end for audio and the video.
And that guy never shuts up either.
Me?
No, DA. Oh. He said, I'm trying to listen to DA. I'm like, yeah, that guy never shuts up either.
Yeah. So that's on me. I'm owning that. I get it's not a crisis, but yeah, it's dangerous when this happens to people like me. In a way, I'll also be self-aware enough for that, right? Because I'm going to see this, DA, and that's why we make a good team. You're like, I'm hesitant to do this live. No, I'm like, God damn it, these motherfuckers.
I'm raging. Yeah.
This is so obvious. So whatever, it's addressed, and that's on me. So
yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I think everybody should be. Hopefully, everybody will be clear what happened, and it's fine.
Yeah, at least like to Brandon's to Brandon's point, he's like, I like live raw reactions. Well, you're gonna get that with me, for better or worse. All right,
and you're gonna get reluctance from DA. That you're gonna get reluctance from you to go like, I don't know if I want to live react to something I'm not sure I know the whole story of.
Yeah, and I agree with this. It wasn't even immediately obvious to me, and I've watched this footage many, many times. right? Like it kind of was like a little bit lined up,
Yeah.
which was confusing. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play the last 50 seconds.
10-6 on King Road.
145.
Moscow 77 is clear.
145.
2911, I'm on my way to you. Moscow 129.
129, go ahead.
111 is out on King, and I'll be 10-8.
305.
111, 77, you need one of us to swing by? No, if you got work to do, go ahead and get it done. Savvy. Moscow 11.
Go ahead.
We're going to be out with some media contacts up here at the King Road address.
540.
Moscow 111.
Go ahead.
Can you log one more perimeter check for me with seals intact on the tape also?
Go ahead.
Laytoss here to believe me. I'm going to be clear seeing here in a moment.
554.
Moscow 111.
Go ahead.
There's got to be a reason though. Okay, so let me pause. I just want to say this, and thank you, Drew Bledsoe, so much for the super chat. Drew Bledsoe said, like, subscribe, and tip your host, you peasants, for the third time. I love that. Put my comments up, even if I don't tip. I will. I've been trying to. And I appreciate that. Formerly known as Z says, this is different footage. Where are the people? Dylan, Hunter, etc. I just want to address, right? I obviously just came forward. I was confused there. My question is like, what is the purpose of overlaying it with that footage? Because if that was to just show a point, this is not even anything to do with Lana. It lines up. So if that was her thought process, it does in a way line up to the point where it got me, right?
Yeah.
Like it did line up. They're describing in real time what they're seeing. So if this is like an overlay of the body cam, it still makes no sense. There's media that they're saying is showing up. They're talking about EMS. They're talking about the victims and there's blood and their DRT. Like, hold on.
And
that
you're
would
like, how
be
could
in
they
the
be doing
first
that
walkthrough.
fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was time gaps cut out. It looks like too.
So what was the explanation though? Just if somebody could sum it up in a sentence or two. Because now I'm just curious because I still am confused how that kind of lined up. What are your thoughts though, DA, in general of that audio?
I don't know that I heard any showstoppers there because again, like you, when I was thinking that we maybe were synced with the video, I would have had some problems. But when it became clear we weren't synced with the video, I had to like rethink, and I don't know that I saw a showstoppers. I think the ones that really stood out to me was we have somebody at the PD that wants to talk about something. We have somebody that has video footage that might be pertinent to it. That's kind of shit that I want followed up on. I want to know about that. And of course, we probably won't ever know. I don't know if the person who was at the PD, she said it was for call 95. I don't know if this was call 95, so I don't know if it's the same one. But when I hear that there's somebody at the police station waiting to be talked to, or that somebody has pertinent video, I want to know if that's related to this case, and I want to know what they were. So those were the things that stood out to me on first listen. But
I mean, yeah, I feel dumb that I didn't know that, but I also don't have time to watch all that stuff, as many people in here probably don't either. So, take that for what it is. This is a live show. Again, it's another, I guess, reinforcing factor that what you see is what you get, right? DA, like this is both of our first time seeing this. So I'm glad that I saw a comment of that.
Yeah.
Either way, it kind of lines up with the footage, which is what.
Yeah. It felt like it did for a while, for sure. Yeah. Until at the moment I really started realizing that wasn't, well, there was several things. The whole, like you said, why is the media already talking about it? Why is it like, are they cutting stuff out? And then when I heard timestamps coming in at night and people are saying good night, I'm like, oh shit, this is not even, they're just truncating the audio. But anyways, we've hit that enough. It is what it is, but yeah, that's there. And I would have to go back and listen to it over and over again to see if I catch any showstoppers in there. But there was certainly some curious moments.
Well, and I was going to say Cookie's Corner says, no, Birdie, that's a great example of what's happening to people about this case. I'm okay with calling myself out like that. I'm okay with that. I that was wrong. If Lana explained it, I didn't know. for the 5th time. But it's like, that is, I think what I said, there's people that for the first time might hear Bryan Kohberger didn't do this. And then they see this and they're like, holy, wait, what? And then they hear the host go, wait, no, it was a mess up. And we can easily recorrect, right? But I'm trying to think about the bigger picture of like, how is this not on News Nation? How is this not on? I don't even like to say those channels' names anymore. Who cares?
I know.
I'm glad it's not on there, actually.
Yeah.
You tired?
No, I'm just contemplative. Whenever I get a new dump of information, I'm trying to process it in my brain. So I'm just thinking it through, just thinking it through.
I mean, overall though, and Bang Bang says, I dispatched for years for a quad murder. There should be much more radio chatter. They probably went straight to phone communications. Well, we do know that they had their iPhones out. Can I ask you? Oh, go ahead.
No. Well, as an aside, I was going to say, my first introduction to dispatch, I will tell you, is an interesting to a real dispatch thing. In the shooting in 2012 at Aurora, Colorado, there was audio recordings being made online, and somebody had taken left channel in your left ear. You could hear the fire dispatch, and on the right ear, you could hear the police dispatch, and it was in real time, and it was all transmissions. And I can't tell you how many ungodly hours I spent in real time making time. I was writing a book, and I had it written down. This is when this was reported. This is when this was reported. This is when this was reported on both police and fire channels. So it took me back to those days listening to dispatch channels, because it takes hours and hours and hours to break that stuff down and really start to think about what it is. So which is again why I'm so reserved, because I'm like, man, I've been here analyzing dispatch channels, and you need to have the raw feed so you can know how much time went behind transmission 1 and transmission 2, because those are important time clues. When you truncate it like this, it leads to confusion. So
yeah. And Pop and Switch, thank you for the $25 super chat. The Hive is on fire tonight. I love it. Says, I appreciate the realism and the passion of the Hive. So big thank you to Birdie and Mods and DA. Well, thank you, Pop and Switch. We really appreciate it. And I was just going to say, to DA's point too, to go along with Pop and Switch's super chat, is it is real, right? Like, DA, you are like this on the phone. I am like this on the phone when we talk.
Yeah.
Not that, again, we're here trying to like defend ourselves to anybody, but you're naturally a more reserved person, right? Like, you would say you wouldn't cross the street unless the crosswalk guy was green. I'm not trying to make fun of you. It's hilarious, but I do mean that genuinely.
Yeah.
And Sherlock says, let's FOIA the MPD radio traffic during the crimes.
Yeah.
Why does FOIA cost anything?
Well, it traditionally has been the first person that requests it has to pay for the time compiling it. But then once it's been done, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th person who requests it doesn't pay shit because it's already been paid for. The whole maneuver that MPD was doing, sending everyone this cookie cutter letter saying, hey, by the way, we need $20,000 down for this, when it already had been compiled and done, was horseshit. And that's not how it's supposed to work. So the first person, I think, generally does pay, but once it's been paid for, then it should be free to request it after that. But
okay, Red Riding Hood 7216, thank you for the super chat, says, Birdie, Lana is making a documentary. This is 12 hours compressed along with body cam for the intro, I think. See, that makes sense. And so when I was saying, like, wait, why would Lana do that? Well, this is a very reasonable answer to that. Damn it.
Right. It's a teaser.
I got to call Lana first thing in the morning and be like, hey, Lana, I'm going to be honest. I started crashing out over your footage. I had no idea what was going on. But I mean that genuinely, because I also don't want people to take my reaction as gospel. That was clearly not an accurate depiction. Like, you guys saw what was real coming from me, but what Red Riding Hood just said, I could, right? Look at how easy we're manipulated. Maybe I'm looking dumb right now, but at the same time, I'm not dumb because I didn't know this.
Yeah.
So, like, DA, to your point, with the general narrative, I know the narrative. I know the things in the case. I think you admitted there was a piece of you that was like, I got to be reserved on this. Look how easy that is. And there was nothing but good intentions behind what we were just watching. It's a documentary to spread awareness.
Yeah.
Or an intro.
Yep.
So
and at the end of the day, people should be allowed to ask questions and not have to be acted like you just completely discredited everything you have to say because you made a mistake on one thing. When you make a mistake, you go, oh, okay, I understand what happened now. I made a mistake, and it should be okay. But some people will use it to discredit you for that. Well, this is the idiot that thought this, and then they'll play a clip of it and make you look like a moron, and that shuts down brains. And there you go.
Well, and here's the thing: is like, and thank you to everybody that says like, I'm being hard on myself, and don't be afraid to look dumb. Well, I'm not afraid to look dumb, but I also, in regards to like taking, exposing the truth very seriously, there's things like that I do take very seriously too. Like I think Lana is a credible, very credible creator in this space with this case. You know what I mean? So like, I just feel like little things like that. It's more of just like, okay, a little bit more prep work before I show it. Obviously I went off the cuff. Somebody emailed me the link, but DA, let me ask you this. You hanging in there with the multiple theories that we already had as the documents drop. You can't say those theories start to become less and less. Is there a new theory that you have that you could speculate on that you would just say, this is a thought that passed through my head? Like, you gave like the horror film one, you gave the getaway driver one. Those all have receipts. Is there anything that you've kind of like been just kind of like meandering in your mind?
Something that's never been said before, or you mean somebody else's theory that I'm taking more seriously than I tell people about? I mean,
I guess in general. So I'm saying like, it seems like you have your couple that you've like gone deep on, right? Horror movie, Kopaka, the four brothers, they knew each other, right? Getaway driver. But I'm saying now that more and more photos, documents have come out, is there anything that has kind of just like flashed into your brain as far as like, well, hang on, or no?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm getting your exact question, but I will tell you this. And again, this is the drug angle is more plausible than I gave it credit for in the beginning. So as I've seen more documents come out and start thinking about things and start watching Hewitt's involvement in going after the Aryan Knights or the Aryan Nation or whatever, and how he comes in late into this case, and all of a sudden they've got a plea deal. I'm like, wow, like maybe I didn't give that, because again, I start adding up the new stuff. I start adding up the multi-jurisdictional drug task force in the area. Homeland Security being involved suggests again that we're looking at drugs coming across the border from Mexico or something like that. Like the marshals being involved. The more I start to think about those things, it's not an area I usually dive into on my show, but the more I see documents and the more I think about it, I'm like, man, there might be a whole nother thing I completely missed on this. So again, like nothing new, like there's not something brand new that I'm coming up that like, you know what the last thing we need on this case? The last thing we need is another fucking idea that nobody's ever thought about. Cause there's already a lot. I already did 27 theories in the thing, from frat fight to fucking, I can't do it. I literally said this before and I mean it. I can't do another theory. Like we've already got like 30 theories. But what I would say is that, maybe some of the theories I didn't take as seriously as I should have, but again, I've let other people run with the theories that that they already had a great start on, and I'm like, I'm going to stick with the theory that is kind of more my thing. And anyways, I don't know if I answered your question. But.
So, I have a new theory.
Oh God! All right.
Genuinely, Jenna McClure. Before I say this, and before I know like how much I can kind of bounce off you with like info, have you seen Jenna McClure's police questioning video?
No.
Or no? Okay.
No.
So Jenna McClure was in a quote saying, I was pretty much living there, meaning 1122.
Okay.
Then also says the cop asks her, what about Murphy? And she goes, I saw them let Murphy out.
Okay.
There was rumors about this fifth roommate.
Yeah.
Name one reason that you would hide a fifth roommate. It can't just be because they survived.
Well, if this was a cover up, you're hiding that you'd hide the fifth roommate, because if anybody knows about them and makes them go on the stand and talk about what they saw, it could blow your entire cover up story. So that would be one way. If the fifth roommate saw something that would be exculpatory to Bryan Kohberger, and they don't want to have that person go into trial and ruin their whole case against Kohberger.
Playing devil's advocate's not even being a pun. I promise. Right? I'm serious. Like, they got Dylan and Bethany to comply and say things that didn't expose that. My question is, why, out of all people, if there was rumors of the fifth roommate, which Steve G talked about, and then said, they're saying it's Ashlyn Couch. I've never even heard of that name. Ashlyn Couch's mother's on Dateline with Keith saying kill them because they're beautiful. No, but they're hiding Jenna McClure.
So Ashlyn Couch, and I'm sure a lot of people know, Ashlyn Couch was on the original lease and was supposed to have been one of the original people there. And supposedly Ashlyn got a better offer to go stay somewhere else and basically didn't live there, but her name was still on the policy. So Ashlyn Couch had originally, and in fact, I believe Ashlyn's room might have been the room that Kaylee moved into after Ashlyn decided not to live there. And she said, hey, can I have your room? So that's where the Ashlyn Couch thing came in. And I think, again, on the Dateline thing, they had the mother of Ashlyn Couch come in and say, oh, Ashlyn was supposed to be there that night. Basically, thank God she didn't go. She was going to watch dogs or whatever the case may be. And so she didn't go. So I think that's where the Ashlyn Couch thing came in, because she was on the original lease. But
so
I
my
haven't
question,
heard about these other,
Yeah, no, to that point, I'm glad you just brought that up. So to that point, Ashlyn, like, let's put ourselves as 19 to 21-year-old college age chicks. And doesn't just even have to be females. Like 19 to 21-year-olds living off campus. Some that have gotten approval and some that have not. Because another thing that Jenna said is, I've pretty much been living there, but I can't. I was going to move in next semester or the following year once I got approved. It's like something along those lines, because you have to be a certain age to live off campus and get approval. But then they were like, well, how did Xana do that? Right? It's all in the interview. And that was like the Cliff Notes.
Okay.
So,
cool.
So my question is this. Let's say that Ashlyn did get a better offer. Rather than go through a continuous sublease and a sublet for Kaylee moving out.
Yeah.
Well, what if Jenna and Ashlyn are friends and Jenna just goes, I'll Venmo you every month, Ashlyn?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, legitimately. Like, I mean, rather than re-sign a new contract, the person could have Ashlyn could have left her name on the lease, not changing the lease, but said, as long as the bill gets paid, I don't care if my name's on the lease. So yeah, somebody else could have been living there with Ashlyn's name on the lease, if that's what you're going with. I would see that as very plausible.
Yeah. And who's to say that Ashlyn didn't find a sublet that person was going to do the same thing?
Yeah.
Right. That Ashlyn would just Venmo somebody else whose name's on a different lease. Like, instead of going through all the sublet paperwork with a landlord, just right. If they're not checking in, who cares? That I don't see that as a stretch. So where I'm going with this is, you can't take Steve G at credit or at face value and give him credit for only half of the stuff. You can't, right? So Steve G says, the grand jury members said that Dylan created more questions than answers, and that there's a text from Dylan saying, quote, I think someone just killed them. That's in the text. And then he also, so if we're going to take that and saying that Dylan didn't do anything, even if she was hiding, that fits into a lot of our narratives. That is, Dylan is sus.
For sure.
But then how do we discredit Steve G also saying, it's wild that people think that drugs have anything to do with this? Right? So I mean, I kind of want to bust Steve's nuts a little bit, because Steve made some kind of comment about drugs can't be the prior, because they could just go get pot across the way in Pullman or whatever. And I'm like, do you realize there's more drugs than just marijuana? Like, that was an asinine thing to say in the first place. Well, if they wanted drugs, they could have just gone across to Pullman. I'm like, yeah, that's that drug. But anyways, that's an aside. You can't take, again, kind of like you just started to say, you can't pick and choose what stuff of Steve Gonzalez you want to say is the truth, and then the other stuff is not, and you just get to, it's like, anyways, I can make an analogy. I won't go there. But the point being is, picking and choosing what you want to believe of somebody's statement is cherry picking stuff is not good. Thank you, Angel Heart, for the super sticker, as well as Drew Bledsoe says, I'm going go bed. Good night. Well, good night, David Loach. Sleep good. Sleep tight. Thank you so much for all the super chats, brother. No, you should say your analogy, DA.
Oh no. I don't. It would offend too many people. I mean, I'll leave it at people probably know what I'm talking about when I say people that cherry pick stuff and pick which parts they want to put out there. But anyways, I don't want to offend a bunch of people with that, and it will.
That's okay. I won't force you.
Thank you.
I'm kind of joking. I didn't know how bad it could be. It's very offensive, isn't it? So I'm just kidding. I mean,
if I'm reserved, on it, it's going to be offensive. Yeah.
So, but here's that theory that I'm working with. If Jenna's saying all that and they hide Jenna and they don't now or until now bring out her whole questioning, she says these things. And you said, well, Ashlyn might have taken over Kaylee's lease, but then Jenna was living there. Ashlyn didn't. Steve doesn't know who Ashlyn is.
Yeah.
This was cross-checked last night where people said, we know it was Kaylee's stuff still in a room because of pictures from before it happened. So that's a good point. But there's multiple other rooms. Like, who's to say that the extra bedroom wasn't just, look at it as like couch surfing. You just crash there when you party and you're pretty much already living there because you're up there. Yeah. It's close to holiday break or you stay there on the weekends. You know what I mean? It could make sense for a disheveled room or a room with, random shit in it, like golf clubs, as many people have said. What if Jenna's the informant, DA, is my new theory.
It could be. Like, my brain has no capacity for another theory, but it could be. I mean,
why hide her?
Yeah. Well, you tell me, why hide her? What are you thinking?
Well, my thought is this. You're going to go to certain lengths locally before it gets to the FBI to protect low-level informants at a party house. So, like, depending on how, quote, low-level you are and depending on how, quote, like, deep undercover, she can go, right, that Jenna can go, am I going to go to the extent that MPD is going to get her to somehow finesse her way into living with these girls? No, I think that's a stretch.
Yeah.
But if she was there that night and was providing information that was somehow then they find out after the fact, holy shit, the drugs that we had a low-level CI trying to figure out on our college campus may have been tied to something huge that the FBI is investigating. Well, we're going to protect your cover. And they don't bring up Jenna. They bring up Ashlyn. And then Ashlyn's mother says, I haven't seen her. She moved to Texas. She wanted to get away. Well, are they hiding these people? Do they not want this group to know where they're at?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of hiding in this thing. I think there's a ton of hiding in this thing. It's driving me insane.
So here, two questions that I want you to answer with vigor. Okay. I want to see your truth on this. One, what would you have to see to say, you know what? I would feel okay having Steve G talk to me in an interview where I would feel confident enough in everything that I've said that while yes, it might be awkward and uncomfortable. Do you think you've seen enough to feel like you could talk to a victim's parent outside of like judgment from comments? I'm saying man to man. You think you could? I could. I think I could.
I could. Yeah. I mean, I've probably been kinder to Steve Gonzalez than people realize. I've told you a million times. There's part of me that understands Steve's conflict of interest and his waffling. I see him. I see what I feel is things that I resonate with Steve Gonzalez. I could interview the man without problem. Now, whether he could go with me without punching me in the face, I don't know, but I certainly could. I wouldn't have a problem with it at all.
And Cat RT1PH says, you're reaching, Birdie, and doesn't spell you right, but that's okay. I know it. That's okay. It's Y-O-U. By the way, that's how you spell it. So, side note, then the other question that I have, DA, remember how we talked about this bet that we would have for releasing our theories
Oh yeah. Oh my.
a
I forgot
year
about that.
from about now.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
I think it would be fun. What, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. And so to people that are just tuning in that didn't know this, DA and I said, DA wanted to put some sort of wager on it that was way extreme. I was just like, maybe $100.
Right. Right.
DA was like, no. Anyways, it was on November 13th. I'm going to make a video and send it to DA. DA is going to make a video and send it to me. And next year, exactly a year from November 13th, that it would go live. We're going to pre-schedule them as to what we think and where we think we'll be at with the case.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, we should present it from the, it's 1 year ago that I made this prediction. And here's where I think the current status of the Idaho 4 case is. Here's what's happened in the last year. And it's a guess. It's a guess a year into the future. You're projecting a year in the future. What happened in this last year in the Idaho 4 case? I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I do too. And the reason why we would send it to each other is so that there's obviously
accountability.
So like DA's video would go live on my channel and vice versa.
Yeah.
Because I think that makes the most sense. It truly would be uneditable at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we should do that. I think I like it. It's nerve-wracking a little bit because what if I'm just horribly wrong? But it is what it is. Don't be afraid to be embarrassed, right? Don't be afraid to be wrong.
Like I said, I thought the Taj Mahal was in Russia. So
yeah, so there you go.
DA, no Tingle Bitties jokes tonight, nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm a bit. Your wife made the best comments. I bet DA watched that video like 27 times.
Easy. What'd you just say?
I said you said that she said I probably watched it like 20 times, right? So she's not wrong in the sense that I went back and watched the video again. But to be fair, I watched it because I was like, I wonder if there was nudity in that thing, and there was, but no, I don't know. The Tiggo Bitties things is funny. It's been a running inside joke in this whole thing, and but you know, that video was over the top, man. The titty killer, holy crap.
Yes, and side note, just to finish up the stream, don't go anywhere, anybody. Sherlock Romes sent me like an impromptu tinfoil hat conspiracy of the day. Okay. And so Sherlock says, Birdie, I just found something completely insane. Do you remember that video you did on the actress's car accident, Anne Hesh, or Anne, however you say her last name? The lady who unzipped her own body bag and sat up still alive as the firefighters loaded her into the ambulance. Well, I was crawling the Wayback Machine, researching her case, and I found a People magazine article about her death titled, quote, The Strange Mystery of Anne Hesch's Death. It was published August 6th of 1998. Anne's accident occurred August 5th, 2022. Okay, so I just wanted to leave everybody with that because I'm going to dive more into it. I just read that from a standpoint of, Sherlock sending me it. But if you guys have stuff like that, please send me it because I'll show it. Like, I love that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the day before, so August 6th of 88 or 89, whatever he said, and then August 5th of 22.
Yeah.
Sunlight Seeker said in the super chat, why are we still assuming the crime happened at 4 a.m. ish? For example, how do we know it didn't happen at 7 a.m. or later? Why doesn't anyone talk about this possibility? That's a great point. Like, I hate to say this because there are a few people that can reason with this because of their own not blood, sweat, tears. That's a terrible analogy. Because of their own time and hours and just mental capacity that they put into this case. There is a chance. I mean, for God's sakes, the quote new grub truck footage that might be AI altered says November 13th at 9:41 p.m. when they cross the street.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? Right? What do you think?
Yeah. And here's the thing. Like if I were a disinformation specialist, if we were to go into the deep conspiracy, deep state kind of stuff, what I would do is I would put out freaking new conspiracy theories every single day so that you can just say, look at how crazy these fucking people are. Now they're saying this, and now they're saying this, and now they're saying this, which is your way to say they're all nuts. You can disregard everything they've said for the last 2 years because they're coming up with this theory now and this theory now. And it would be a way to discredit the entire community. So,
you know what?
Again,
if there's any place to do this where we literally say, what if the timeline happened the day after? It would be here. We could get away with it because people already think we're batshit crazy. What if we took out all of the, like I said this the other night, I think I've said this now, even tonight, like on the Linda Lane footage, there's time missing, DA. There's random shit. There's like a burst around 1:30. And then it's like the 1112 footage is very close to the house. They make it very specific that, nope, this is at 4 a.m. You hear the thud. Well, what if we took out all the Linda Lane footage, all the quiet space, and what if we just combined all of that? I've said it seems like it'd be about 15 minutes of chaos.
Yeah.
So like 15 minutes, you guys got to understand, they've clearly stretched this timeline out with Kaylee and Maddie getting back from the grub truck to Bali, and then the 8-hour delay. There is clear manipulation. Why are we to think that they've even given us enough shreds to have us be able to piece it together? Why would we assume that they've even given us that much to piece it together? Can we start asking that? Yeah, the scrub truck. We're making t-shirts of the scrub truck.
The scrub truck, right.
And DA, thank you. We're at 2 hours. I'm going to stay up for about 10, 15 more minutes, Hive. I'm going to answer some questions. DA, you rock. Great job tonight with your analysis. 8 a.m. tomorrow. Here's DA's channel, guys. Is it a premiere, DA?
It's not a premiere, but it's gonna launch public at 8 a.m. So
okay,
I should make it a premiere. I've never tried to do it as I should do it as a premiere, and then I could be there to interact with it.
Yeah. So let me just throw this up on the screen here, quick. So
I wonder if I can change it to a premiere now. Huh?
Where is it?
Is it? Well, you won't see it, right? Because it's scheduled. Well, are you on the members only?
No,
because right now it's members only until tomorrow. But
okay,
there it is. Yeah, Kohberger with receipts is the one that's going to launch tomorrow at 8 a.m. It's members only right now, and that's the one that's going to be launching tomorrow.
Hey, now we're doing a thing, you and I. Thanks for considering.
That's an advertisement to join.
I'm so excited to offer these new subscription levels, which will give you custom badges and cute little icons that you can have next to your name when you post in the chat. There'll be emojis that are specific for you. I'm going to add more and more emojis, little cute emojis that have male and female emojis that you can use. You're going to have custom and private member-only videos, early access to videos before they go to the main public. More and more access the higher up the tier that you go. It's entry level, super cheap, $2.99, and you get access to member-only videos, member-only live streams, and emojis and badges. And it only goes up from there. Consider joining. I'm excited.
Pause for a minute. Because I have to say, I didn't realize that was still there. I used to have 3 membership tiers, which was $2.99, $9.99, and $14.99. I no longer have 3 membership tiers. It's one tier. It's $2.99, and you get everything. So I didn't want that to go much further and start confusing people about the multiple tiers. There aren't multiple tiers anymore. And I forgot that video was advertising the channel kind of thing. But yeah, that video right there, I thank you for plugging it. I think that video I think it's a strong video. And the video right before it that we talked about at the beginning of this night, which is the one that says planted evidence. I think I know why Ann Taylor said, I think the knife sheath was planted, and she was laying the groundwork for it. Problem is, it was never going to go to trial, and she wasn't going to get to show the receipts, but she was laying the groundwork for it. So yeah, those are great. I think not to plug my own shit, but I think it's worth watching if you're interested.
Well, here, and look, DA, thank you so much for popping up. I'm just going to say this. Look, Hive, I've obviously, I've never done this. If everybody, when they leave here, I'm going to stay up for 10 more minutes. When you guys, before you close your YouTube app, can you guys go and just press the like button right here before this even goes live tomorrow at 8 a.m. There's obviously a quote, you know what? And some D-bag said Birdie says there's a game you got to play with the algorithm. Well, yeah. Just because we're not in it for the money doesn't mean we don't want our information to get out there. There's truth to that. The initial pop of likes is what matters. Okay.
Yeah. Can I take just a minute to explain that real quick? I get accused a lot of, you're clickbaiting, you're looking about numbers, and I don't. But having said that, when I had a video the other day, which was the one about the planted evidence, it was going super, super strong. And the algorithm was, and according to, if you do an analysis of your numbers, it's saying, hey, look, if your numbers look like this for the next 5 hours, they're going to start showing it to people who have never seen your channel before. Why wouldn't I want that? That doesn't mean I'm clickbaiting people, because I didn't make the thing to clickbait people. But of course I want people who have never seen me before to have a chance to see my channel. Why wouldn't I? If I feel like what I'm doing at the end of the day is important and true and people should hear it, I want them to hear the message. So it's funny because, you know, you have to fight those people who are saying you're doing things for money and you're paying attention to the numbers. But of course, if nobody sees what you have to say, what's the fucking point of saying it? Sorry.
And I was just saying in the chat too, like, I will never knock anybody for having memberships. Like, I'm not going to do it, but that doesn't mean that I don't agree with everything that we're saying here. Like, guys, you put mad effort into everything you put out. So that's all I'm asking, guys. Just whatever. DA comes on every Monday night. He brings it. And it's literally, that part costs you nothing. Even if you don't even watch it. Right?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So DA, appreciate you, brother. I love you. I hope you have a great night. I will see you next Monday. And Hive, I'm going to pop up, or I'm going to stay up here and I'll answer some questions for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Thanks, dude. Cheers. All right, Hive. Oops. Jeez. Where's this layout? There it is. DA is the man. You know what? Just a great dude. And yeah, I love that dude. I don't want to get sappy, but that dude reminds me of my father. Genuinely. His type of humor. And maybe that's why I like him so much. But just a wholesome dude that, you know, he can relate to anybody and everything. All right. So let me ask you guys this. I want to put out a little bit of a request here, because I could go in a couple different directions over the course of this week. There is so much stuff that has been put out between the sheath. There's 2,300 more documents, whatever the hell it is. Do we want to go into that? Like, I'm trying to be self-aware enough of like the Hive. Like, I know that we can go into documents and other people are going to be going into documents, but like, what is something that's unique that we could do that could still be beneficial to helping expose the truth? Is it restarting a timeline again? Is it, you know, I hate to say this, but it's like, looking into the documents for me in my head, as I've always said, it's becoming more and more obvious. They want you to poke holes in it, and people are going to, and we need that. But like, what can we do? What can we do where it's like, we don't give a shit what people really think about it, and we could just look into it, right? And yeah, as a reminder, DA's video is going to go live at 11 a.m. tomorrow Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard. Happy in my flip-flops 3 says, I'm kind of new to watching your channel. I really love what I'm hearing. I also think you and DA make a great team. Thank you. And welcome to the Hive. Appreciate you tuning in. Cookies Corner 420 says, I'm making a fact sheet and looking into the 1122 lease, and after 8 hours, victims would have evaluated themselves or evacuated themselves, maybe. Well, and that's the whole point, Susan, is like, it's sad because we can catch the discrepancy. And I'm not knocking anybody, because I'm not saying that every little court document discrepancy is glaringly obvious. It's not. It takes real time and effort to dig into it. My point is that they hid this. So to us, this sounds new. They've had a 2.5-year head start on us. And I do agree with Teresa that petitions do not work. It's kind of like, have you ever seen anybody vote their way out of oppression? in any government system anywhere. Amanda Bambi says making a new timeline. UFO Dog says this is her 69th stream. Fake news. Daily Twin Flame says the sheath is a waste of time. Phoenix says there is a petition, and I'm not shitting on petitions in general. Like, do I think they bring attention? Yes. Do I think they bring change? In my opinion, no, but I do think that petitions, they can bring attention to it. It's just, if there's nobody that's going to get behind it that could bring the actual change, which you can't tell me these people, and I know Phoenix knows this, I know people in the Hive know this, you can't tell me that people who could make the change aren't aware of this. They have to be. They have to be aware of it. Somebody's got to get some balls and step up, do the right thing, be on the right side of history, stop being fearful, understand that there are people that when they feel empowered will come out of the woodwork, they will have your back, but show us you have a spine. For the love of God, show us you have a spine in this case. Think about, in the reality of this, what you're standing up against, that people are afraid to stand up against. There's an autistic gentleman who's accused of murdering 4 people in a Jason Bourne timeline with a K-bar that leaves no DNA anywhere on him, in his car, in his apartment. They find trace DNA with no chain of custody. And that's what everybody's afraid to stand up to. And he took a plea deal to get the death penalty off the table. That's what you guys are afraid to stand up to. Really? That's so controversial. You have victims' family members calling out Bill Thompson. You have Steve G and Chrissy saying that Bill Thompson does not represent their family. Bill Thompson does not represent the truth that they stand for, and that he was soft and he did not back them up. He gave in. He gave in to all of Kohberger's demands, as they stated last night or 2 nights ago on a live. So what is anybody afraid to stand up for? I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. We've been saying this for months. We might as well see it through. We might as well enable people and encourage others to use their voice. It doesn't matter if you have a platform. Use your voice at home. Understand, you looking into this no more than the average person. They've only ever heard Dateline, Amazon, James Patterson, and Ashley Banfield talking about Kohberger's muffin top. That's it. Yes. As LA Mike says, stand up for the voiceless people that do have a social disability, or that do have Asperger's and autism. Nobody understands it until you explain it to them. I'm working on this. Will did say that he's down to do an interview again. I talked to him for an hour and a half on the phone the other day. It's crazy. Everything's crazy. Phoenix says amen to LA Mike. Cat's Mojo says, let's find the real assailants who may still be out there, who really killed Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. It certainly was not Bryan. And at this point, if you can't even hear it, but guys, I don't know how to say this other than, if people like myself, people like everybody in here endured what it was like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, questioning this case, even after the plea, if we endured that, now with all these documents, we should feel like we have just been given like the ultimate weapon for truth and justice. And if this is a greater good doctrine operation, then at least right the ship enough with enough truth that shows the people in here that have demanded transparency and have demanded clarity on the documents that are so easy to poke holes in are not pro burgers. They're not pro people who murdered people getting off. Stop saying that shit about us. I don't want murderers to get away with it. You don't want murderers to get away with it. I know that the people that say that we do don't even believe that themselves. They're just dumb. At that point, you people are so dumb that you really believe that this is because we want murderers to get away. Pull your heads out of your ass. It's not a joke. Yeah, they've drunk the Kool-Aid, all right. And also, like, anonymous reckoning. Great point. If an innocent man is in jail, how is this justice? You know, shouldn't you be able to, if you're so smart, not you, anonymous reckoning, I'm talking about the others, like the MSNPCs, the Brian Entons, the Ashley Banfields, the London's Notebooks. I said it. I don't give a shit. She'll probably clip this. She's clipped other stuff where I've said her name one other time. I don't care because people will go ahead and they'll say my name. They'll say the Hive's name. They'll say it so out of context. Let me provide crystal clear context to this clip. If you claim to be an expert on court documents, which we know all of you have read through and through and wanted to throw into the light that makes Bryan Kohberger guilty, and you want to frame it in that light and look through that lens, prior to all of this being released, and now you don't continue with that same kind of trend that you've been doing, look through that light. Through and through. See the case all the way to the end. And prove to us you're not just doing this for clicks. Prove to this you're not just doing this to be trendy. Prove to us that you just don't want to be liked for your own self-confidence. Because it's certainly starting to seem that way. You just wanted to feel good about yourself because you could go along with the easy narrative. And all of us, including yourselves, know deep down you knew when the tide turned. You just couldn't admit it. So you're going to stop covering this case, or you're just going to dig your heels in. We all see right through it. Join the team that, if you want to say even guessed right, we'll say that. Just guess right. We will welcome you. You guys didn't welcome us. We will welcome you here. We want to prove the truth. We want justice. We are not, quote, pro burgers in the sense of murderers walking free. That is not synonymous with anything that anybody in here is doing. And that's what I have to say about that. I have no problem saying that anymore. I shied away from it before, not because I was afraid. I just didn't think that it was relevant. I think there was an argument for a certain amount of time for both sides. I knew what I believed, but there was an argument to be made for the other side. I believe that argument has far sailed. It's long gone. It's long gone. And now it's purposeful. Now there's a narrative. Now we have to start questioning who's paying for you to say that. I also don't think it would be very hard to find out if we really looked into it. There's probably more people out there that are being paid to say things than anybody would ever expect. And don't ever even try to say that I'm getting paid to say this from an outside influence. Because those same people that are going to claim that were the same people that said they wish my wife and I were in the house the night that that murder happened. You sick? You know what? I have no sympathy for anybody that continues to call people out like this. None. Zero. Zilch. Like I said, I'm waiting for the next person to try this, where I actually take good people who are here in the hive, who have good intentions, that don't want to call people out. Let's make an example out of somebody then. Let's make an example. You want to do it to us? Okay. You think we're so stupid? Watch how quickly we will do it to you. It's at that point. Call it a threat. You guys threaten us all the time. It's not physically threatening anybody. It's not, we're not going to come harm you physically. We're not going to dox you. We're just going to say like, hey, everybody, just so you guys know, here's the background on the people that are saying they wish that somebody who says maybe an autistic man who has dexterity issue and visual snow, and they can't put him at the scene. He has no connection to the victims, and he never stalked them. This crime was not sexual. Maybe he's innocent. Maybe he was, a patsy. Maybe he was this, and that. Oh, those people that are questioning that, they say that they wish this dude and his wife would have been murdered in the house that night. Oh, wow. I'm so much worse than you for just questioning that, aren't I? No. And I'm done not empowering people to think and see this same thought. I'm done with it because it's happened to me so many times. I don't care anymore. I hope that everybody in here right now doesn't think I'm just trying to rant and ramble for nothing. We want these people to see that and see this and hear this. And I haven't looked at the chat one time, so I'm sorry. Yeah, Dana says it's not a threat, it's a promise. Well, I know. And it's true. Guys, this shit, I've had people bring up my little sister's name in the comments. Like, wow. Wow. What are you going to find? I've been very open about myself and everything. I'm not hiding anything, but you're hiding behind a fake profile picture, a fake name. You have 5 burner accounts. And KKAZ girl says, well, these crazies are out in the communities running free as well. These crazies are the same people that somehow get into power. Thank you, Pamela Smith, saying, Pamela Smith says, you're a good guy. It comes through in your videos. You don't want to be hated on, but realize those people are so much worse than you. Right. I have also realized I've been way too nice. I've been way too nice. I've been way too tolerant. Okay. I'm not swinging first in this situation, everybody. I'm not. If anything, I'm lucky I'm not knocked out by how many times I let myself get hit before I finally swung back. Right. And that's true. Collie Toon says, Birdie accepts the fact that not everybody agrees with him, which is why he's epic. Well, thank you for the kind words. But yeah, I do. I do accept it. I didn't even just agree with DA, and he's a regular guest on Monday. Luna says, imagine being such a sweaty, mouth-breathing NPC. Well, I appreciate all you guys' kind comments. I'm also not trying to just live in an echo chamber, right? Like, I do love seeing that. I'm a human. It's great to be validated. But I also know I'm not just speaking for myself right now. Like, I am speaking on behalf of many other people that are here in the Hive for a multitude of situations. Let the Idaho 4, in this case, be the vehicle. Fine. Go back and watch some of my earliest videos. I've made edits that have said, or I've edited clips that say, nobody's saying we want Bryan Kohberger to get away with it. And you dumbasses still can't. Oh my God. I got to stop, dude. I got to stop. I cannot fathom with it. And if anything, this isn't even me getting worked up by the comments. It's like, I could either continue to just crash out like this and you all get some sort of entertainment from the crash out every time that somebody says this to us or me, or it's like, all right, let's bite back. Let's bite back. And then let's see how fucking funny it is. Because it's not going to be funny. We have so many resources here. We have such an amazing community of really good people. Like, newsflash, you don't ever want to piss good people off. Because when good people get pissed off, that's when you have a real problem. A mega problem. That's what it's like, okay, we choose you. And again, I don't want this to also be confused with, I'm not asking for anybody to go out of their way, you know, and make an attempt, because I don't have time for that shit either. But let me ask you guys this. Does anybody see Shane in the chat anymore? We didn't even block him. Or did we just have to call Shane out that he was dumb enough to use his real picture on his profile? I'm just saying. And let him know. Okay. And that wasn't even opened up to the Hive. That was just shit that I have behind the scenes. So, thank you, Sunlight Seeker, for the super chat. Says, at this point, I think the most effective way to get the truth is to visit Moscow and the surrounding bars and listen to the gossip while people are liquored up with loose tongues and liquid courage. I'll have to wear a fake mustache. I'll have to send somebody in undercover. Thank you for the super chat. Anyways, I've ranted enough. I'm sorry that I said this was going to be questions. I will be back on tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. here in the Hive. Please like this video if you guys have not. Please, please, please like this video. Wait, Taylor. No, not my fellow cheesehead. You didn't like the pineapple Olipop? Ugh. I feel like I should send this super chat back. I apologize. But anyways, I love you guys. I hope you have a great night's sleep. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. It's a new life.